Welcome to MediThrive Takes Lagos. It's a book tour mentorship session organized by the prolific author, Dr. Shakirat Gold-Olufadi. Just before I recognize her properly, we had a few people step in during the commercial break. Permit me to say that during the commercial break. Just so you know, I must do this recognition properly and specially because I was caught off guard when I introduced him. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairperson is the Motawali of Ilorin. He is a member of the prestigious and the elite body of benchers, the highest body in the law profession, I must say. He also thrives as a non-executive director of First Bank Holdings, a lawyer of the highest reputation with over 40 years of experience. When he is not doing all of this, he loves to read, he loves to swim, and he is an avid art collector. He also is the managing partner, House of Laws, Advocates, and Solicitors. With a resounding round of applause, Dr. Mohammed Alimi Abdurazak. Thank you so much, sir. I was almost going to add GCON, but we'll get there very soon. Very, very soon. Let me also mention that he is the chairman of one of our partners, of our esteemed partners, the chairman of Bridge House College, ICOI, an organization, an educational institution that is focused on bringing out the best when it comes to students aspiring for higher levels. Thank you so much for partnering with us. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. We also had one of our panelists and partners. She wears double hats this morning. Join us while we were on the break. She is at the apex of the medical profession as a consultant hematologist. At the time she was in training, I was a student, and I saw Shege. She showed me Shege. I'm glad I can hold the microphone and say that, and I will not be giving extra call. But it was for the best because I turned out to be a fantastic medical doctor before I decided to step out. But I still have PTSD. I think I was still discussing with Dr. Gold the other day. I still have PTSD. Anytime I see her, I'm always going to set that line. But it was for medicine, because we are talking about the business of saving lives. It's 100 or nothing. Because one step to the wrong side can be the difference between death and life. And I'm very glad that she was able to inculcate that in me. And she's taking it to the next level by being the medical director of Next Hematology Medicare, one of the most prestigious hematology clinics in Nigeria, partnering with MediThrive Takes Lagos. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Folashade Popola, please let's celebrate her. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You look absolutely resplendent. Thank you very much. Right about now, we have stepping into the building the face of modern healthcare in Nigeria, in Africa, and of course the world. Ladies and gentlemen, one of Nigeria's biggest exports when it comes to digital health, a master storyteller, a consultant storyteller, the CEO founder of Aproco Global, the founder of Aproco Nation Fiesta, the leader of the Nkechi and Emeka Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Chinonso Egemba, Aproco doctor. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. AD, before you come out, I collect that trouser. AD, Aproco doctor, before you come out, that trouser I'm not gonna follow you come out or light a lie. While we were talking, Dr. Gold's father-in-law stepped in. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Alhaji Dr. Femi Abdulkadir Olufadi. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. I had said earlier that by the time we get into this event, you will understand the power of social capital. We are talking about industry leaders in their various fields. They have things to do this morning, but they honored Dr. Gold with their presence. Please, once again, students, can we give them a resounding round of applause for joining us this morning? Thank you. Right about now, I'll be introducing the woman of the moment, the woman that has gathered the creme de la creme in this room, the woman who has made it possible that all of this that is happening today is possible. And I talked about the journey that started earlier than 2021, but culminated into the launching of the book in 2021 through the book tour and, of course, the session happening today. And I'm going to be taking my time to mention a few things about this Amazon, this trailblazer, this queen, this best-selling author that we are here to celebrate. She's the first of 3 children to the late Malam Idris and Hajia Fumilayo Gold. By the way, Hajia Fumilayo Gold will be here any moment. And the moment you see her, you will know her. You will know her. In the ancient city of Ilorin, she was about the size of a pixie when she was enrolled in Richmond Nursery and Primary School in Ibadan, where she always scattered away prizes for almost all subjects, including being the class talkative. That's right. So her talking was not today. Had I noticed how much she loved to play with words, considering that she sometimes woke up at odd hours to ask for the meaning of Gangantuan words? Why will you wake up in the middle of the night and be asking what is Gangantuan? And he decided to own her innate skills of writing, reading, and speaking. She moved on to the Federal Government College, Girls College, Omoaran in Kwara State for secondary school after an initial stint at the Command Secondary School Ibadan, where she decided that her miniature self could not survive the toughness of the military-themed school, even though in her ways and doings, she can pass for a military woman. Typical of most top students in primary school then, I want to be a doctor when I grow up, was a popular chant that soon became a part of her. Yet she never lost the zest for reading and writing, which she continued through secondary and university. She got admission to study medicine in the prestigious University of Ilorin, even though she may have been more outstanding in an art-related course as evidenced by her high school results. Ladies and gentlemen, she got very intrigued by dermatology early on in her career, particularly because it was a specialty that was an enigma to most, which further piqued her interest. Fate had her posted to dermatology as an intern, and the journey to becoming a dermatologist began. Love. She found love. She found love. She found love. While pursuing dermatology in the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, as the sugar in her tea, the honey in her pap, and the cockroach in her cupboard was living in Lagos at the time. So she made a decision of residency based off love. Just putting that out there. Even though she cried to and fro, navigating the streets, the Kogbagbere streets of Lagos, when she first moved, the time she spent here left indelible marks in her heart because of the amazing social capital that she formed. She completed her residency in world record time and was so hot that the University College of Hospital in Ibadan had to bring her back, taking her away from Lagos, where her employment journey in the medical field started 10 years prior. All through the years, she never went too far from her first love of writing, and she documented her thoughts regularly on all her social media platforms. I'm sure a lot of us know, SkinandAll.com. It pleases me to say that MediThrive is her first book. Apart from writing, academically, she's a fellow of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, a member of the Nigerian Association of Dermatologists, the International Society of Dermatology, the European Academy of Clinical Allergology and Immunology. I got that correctly. And she also has special interest in procedural dermatology. As I said earlier, she's married to the love of her life, Tajuddin Olufadi, and they are blessed with 2 amazing boys, Bilal and Farid. You can find her in her spare time cooking, writing, dancing, which she will do today, spending time with loved ones, and chastising Dr. George, the talk doctor. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding round of applause, and if possible, a standing ovation for the author of MediThrive, Dr. Shakirat Gold-Olufadi, as she joins us on stage. Let's keep clapping, let's keep clapping. The woman of the moment, the Amazon, the trailblazer, the queen of the most. Let me help you. Amazing. Please, you can sit down. Thank you. Ma, over to you.
It's okay, George. You know we can still call you back for extra call, right? I'm just making a point and just letting you know. Dr. Popola, we can make it happen, right? Thank you. You can, you know, your mouth was, you know, you were cooking a lot of stuff while you were, and I was looking at you. I'm like, it's okay, continue. We'll take care of all of this, right? Right?
You know, Ma, you know that's why you wanted me to do it, because nobody would do it like I do it.
I really don't know about that, but we'll talk about that. We'll address this later.
I serve a living God. I'll die and I die. Ma, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, George. You know, I'm hardly short of words, but sometimes it happens that the people that play with words the most, you get short of words, especially when you are amazed by the amount of social capital that you don't know that you've gathered over the years. So the first thing I'd like to say, it's not time to give the vote of thanks, but they say that the person that is grateful for something is going to get more and more. So first, I'd like to express my appreciation to every single person in this room. I will start from my, my chairman of the day, my amazing panelists, because the thought of this thing came about 4-6 weeks ago, and I was able to put it together, not because I could do it, but because of the amazing social capital that I have. So I would first like to say thank you to the people that have honored me. May God honor you more than you have honored me. And not just you alone, may God honor you down to your progeny. I am grateful that you have showed up for me today. And to the amazing medical students, that are here, I'm surprised that I have more of LASUT students here than my LUT students. But I would say that, maybe they had a lecture or something and they are going to join us very soon. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone that is here right now, and then to my family. Because what is Shaki without her family? Shaki is absolutely nothing without her family. So thank you. Thank you for being my rock. Thank you for being my support. So MediThrive Takes Lagos. You know what they say? Eko ni baje. Oh, baje, So everything that we do, Lagos has to be, but the thing is, Lagos has to be different because everything about Lagos is different. How long did it take you to drive to this place? So if you show up for somebody in Lagos, you must really like the person. Because to come here, it takes a lot of effort to be able to drive here and to be able to show up. And these are people of timber and caliber. They are here today, and they are here not because they don't have better things to do with their time. So MediThrive Takes Lagos has to be different. So when I wrote my book in 2021, I know that a lot of the students, a lot of young people say, oh, we don't have enough mentors. That's why we're not doing some of the things that we are supposed to be doing. And so the reason why I wrote my book, let me tell you the first reason. I thought I was going to die at that time, truthfully. I had COVID, and I had COVID at a time when COVID was COVID. So at that time, and I speak a lot of my language when I'm trying to explain things. So I remember the clinical virologist in my center at University College Hospital, Ibadan, Professor Fowotade, now a professor too. She's like one of the social capital I've acquired over the years. And I'll tell you the meaning of social capital, because I'm sure you're wondering what that means. So I told her, Dr. Fowotade, Mutini COVID. This is how I'm going to go. let me start writing letters to my loved ones. You know, and she said it in Yoruba, letter were oh, if time gidi go letter. And if you don't understand Yoruba, I told her that, oh, I have COVID, I'm probably going to die. I think I'm going to write a letter to my husband, my children. And she's like, why not just spend your time writing productive things instead of stupid letters? That you're not going to die. People like you don't die just like that. It's not your time yet. And you know, by the time my mom, because I self-isolated at home, I was one of those people that didn't have a lot of respiratory symptoms. So by the time my mom will bring the Ignia Yilata in the morning and drop it at the entrance, and I'm like, me, Maku, you know? So I'll eat the snails, eat the jollof rice, and I'm like, I'm still alive. Oh. Okay. So the first week of isolation, I will throw up, clean up after myself. And I was so sick. So, but my mom would drop food at the entrance and they would call me that, oh, there's food, because I had to self-isolate. I wasn't sick with respiratory symptoms, but I was pretty sick. So, but because I didn't want to infect my family, my mom wanted to come and live with me. My husband wanted to stay. I'm like, please, let me know that I'm getting this all by myself. But by the time I started eating the snails, eating the fried meat, and I'm like, it's like, this guy is not going to die. So I'm like, okay, let me spend that time for more productive things. And like George said, I've always loved writing. Writing has been a pastime for me forever. So I decided to write my first book, MediThrive. And I'm one of those writers that I find it very easy to write both fiction and nonfiction. And my fiction is the idea of, I think life is already so stressful already. So my idea of fiction is writing romance stories. So you would always find me, I always have a muse for my stories when I'm writing. I would have a couple in my head that, oh, okay, this couple is the ideal couple. I'll use, you know, different people for my stories. So I write a lot of romance stories. Then for my nonfiction, I like to write a lot of things that help people to make themselves better. So that's how MediThrive came in. And I thought of writing it myself because they say experience is the best teacher. Why do you want to learn from your own experience? Smart people learn from other people's experiences. You don't wait to experience a divorce before you learn from it. You don't wait to be sick with something before you learn from it. So smart people learn from other people's experiences along with their own experiences. You don't have to experience something before you learn from it. So when I started the book, to make it even better, and like they say, Gen Z, I'm sorry, you people don't read. You don't like to read a lot. So I had to write a book that I knew that younger people will want to pick up to read. So if you look at my books over there, because I didn't know I was going to finish selling almost all my books, but this, I'm proud to say that, like George said, I'm a self-published author and almost all my books are gone. So I decided to write it chapter by chapter. And for each chapter in my book, I had a picture depicting what I was trying to explain. And for me, I used my experience of medical school to try to teach about how to approach medical school. And like I tell my students back in UCH, because I was a student here as a resident, but like I used to tell my students in UCH, I promise you, the easiest your life is going to ever be is right now. And I'm not saying it because I want to make you afraid. You are a single Pringle, most of you right now. You're not married, you don't have children, you're not worrying about any other thing. You're not, so all you say is, Mom, my money, oh Mom, because a lot of, rich kids and, you get what I'm saying. You guys, let me use the social media lingo and all of that. So the easiest your life is ever going to be is right now. And I'm not saying it to scare you. I'm saying it that if you think right now is daunting, there's so much more that you're going to get that will be more daunting than this. But how are you going to be able to cope in a world that is looking like it's about to drown you? That's the reason why I wrote the book, MediThrive. And then I reached out to other doctors that are also doing different things. So you will find there's somebody for each person. If you want to become a doctor in the public health space, you'll find somebody in the book. I invited somebody to write about that. Dr. Aduragbemi Banket Thomas, graduated from last week. All right, so the reason why I brought this presentation is not a presentation per se. It's just to tell you guys that whatever you believe can happen for you, it is possible. And I'm going to start with doctors that are known to me personally, that are doing things in their field. And who best to start with than one of my closest friends over the years. Dr. Shade Gold-Olufadi, who is also one of the panelists today. Shade and I intentionally brought this picture to show where we started from 5 years ago. And I'm sure that this picture is bringing back memories even for Shade right now. Because I remember when we were coming to Luth, so Shade and I have been friends from the first year of medical school. That's over 20 years now. So from the first year of medical school, one thing that endeared Shade to me is that, or that we just knew that we were kind of souls that were very closely, alike. Because Shade is the typical talk and do. I want to do it, I say it, I do it. I can't do it, that's it. So Shade says, I want to do it. Is there a way? Okay, let us find the way. Is there no way? Let us find an alternative way. Is there no alternative way? Let us think of something else that we can do. Honestly, and that's why I say that I think fundamentally people don't change, especially when you get to a certain age. And those are some of the things I'm going to tell you, especially you guys are going to be choosing life partners very soon. If the flags are very red, don't expect it to become green overnight. It's not going to change. So Shade has always been like that. And when Shade came to Luth to do residency, Shade wanted to do dermatology, actually. Dr. Otrofanowe is right here, and she will remember that Shade wanted to be a dermatologist. And do you know what happened? And that's why I would say to you, keep your options open. Don't be so rigid with yourself. Even life is not that rigid. So Shade got into hematology, and I don't know what happened with that slide. Whatever it is they put on that slide, she looked at it and she's like, yes, I am going to be a hematologist oncologist. No more dermatology for me. And like I told you, when she says, I want to do something, she says it, she prays about it, and then she gets it done. And that's one thing. And that's where we kind of are very alike. For me, I'm like, okay, so for example, when something is happening, when they'll say, oh, females, you start crying. No, I'm like, what are you supposed to do? Why are you crying? Why? So Shade wanted to be a hematologist after some time because I don't know. And I'm like, babe, are you sure? She's like, I'm setting. I'm going to be going to UK to do this, to do that. I'm like, whatever you say. And I know Shade won't mind me using this as a personal example because it's all a part of her story. There was an exam that Shade went for. I didn't go for that exam. She didn't pass that first exam. And then I called her trying to be like, babe, show her, okay, everything. And I heard her doing, Shade, are you crying? Pepper soup ni. No, I'm not joking. So at that point, I was trying to do, Shade, are you okay? Everything was okay. Shade, pepper soup now. So just to try and tell you that behind everybody that you think that is doing a great thing today, they have failed at something at one time. And I don't mean yahoo, please. That's not a great thing. I mean like a really, really great thing that you can be proud of to leave as a legacy for your children. So Shade's vision statement for Next Hematology, and how Next Hematology was birthed, was that she knew she wanted to be a hematologist oncologist. She knew she wanted to make a difference. Whether the public sector or the private sector, Shade wasn't bothered. She just knew she wanted to make a difference. And then she was trying to get into the public sector. And then she told me that, Shaki, I'm going to the UK. I'm going to go and learn some stuff. When I come back, I'm going to set up this. As she was saying, oh my man, he bastard money. Because I don't know how she's going to get that money. Because it was a lot of money she was talking about. But like I say, there is nothing like social capital. People just have to see you investing in yourself and they would invest in you. And so Shade, backed by social capital, I can tell you, I was there when Next Hematology started. I will be there when Next Hematology, and I'm one of the greatest supporters of Next Hematology. So we started from here. And she started this place, and we would have still been here. There's a Yoruba adage that says, Ili oba tojo no, ewa lobusi. This place, we were experiencing floods. So every time it's raining in Surulere, the first thing we are thinking of is, Shade, machine, is everything okay? I hope everything is good. She's like, for now, I've done all the... But by the third time we experienced it, we knew that we had to leave. We knew that. And at that point, I wasn't in Nigeria anymore at that time. And I was calling from America, and I was like, Shade, what's happening? How are you going to sort this out? What are we going to do? She was like, Shaki, Oloni, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then we did it. And so we moved from that place. I think we deserve a round of applause, right? Where am I? Where is everybody now? Make us feel like we are doing something great, you know. So she moved from there over the space of 2 years, right, babe? Or 3 years. No, what I mean is that when we were there, but like 2, 3 years, we moved from next hematology here, and then we moved here. You guys know that to buy a place in Surulere, this is at Falolu Street, 56 Falolu Street in Surulere, it's not a walk in the park to get this kind of thing. And it's not because she had the money stashed somewhere. It's because of the abundance of social capital that Sade has. And she will continue to thrive in that abundance because if people see you investing in yourself, they have no choice. Everybody wants a good thing. So look at, this is where we are now. Sade is they need platelets in Lagos State now. Sade, our hospital is running right now. She's the CEO of Next Hematology. She can be here with me today because she chose that life for herself. And she said, it took a lot of, don't think there are a lot of tears, sweat, and pain. But she did it. And there's nothing as beautiful as putting the sweat in what you love doing. And so so we work like the Three Musketeers. And I think at this point, I should say I'm the sellout. I'm the one that left Nigeria amongst the three of them. So Sade was supposed to be the face of hematology oncology in Nigeria. Kafaya Ogushola is the CEO of Empathy Space. And these people, we've been friends for over 20 years. So Kafaya Ogushola, as young girls, I remember when we're here in Luth, we're telling ourselves, see, Shaki, at this point, this is what I'm going to do. Even when nobody believed in what Kafaya was doing, at some point, I'm like, Kafaya, he really believes in herself. Because she'll tell you, I'm going to build the first empathy space hub in Nigeria. Like, I'll have psychotherapists, I'll have psychiatrists. It's almost like she knew that, because like Dr. Bojubola Abiri says, there is no health without mental health. If you've ever had a mental health issue, you will know that there's truly no health without mental health. So this is Empathy Space. This is Dr. Chinonso Egemba. He chose the path of being the biggest health influencer in Nigeria, and undoubtedly is the biggest health influencer in Nigeria. And I remember the first time I met Nonso on social media, when he had like maybe 100,000 followers, and they want to drag him. And I'm like, can't this guy see he's doing something great? I will go behind the curtain and I'll be like, don't respond to trolls. Trolls are nameless, faceless people who don't have a life. Do not respond to them. And by consistently doing what he loved doing, you can't see, I have him here, not because I have money. I can't even afford his fees. He's here because of social capital. I can't afford what he's doing. And so this is Dr. George. He needs no introduction. He has introduced himself like 200 million times today. He has decided to leave, he's in the entertainment industry. He's an MC extraordinaire. He does the sports segment on TV. That's what he loves doing, and he's doing an amazing job. This is Ayomide Adeyemi, aka AY Sachs. Ayo was my house officer. And typical of me, I like to know about my students. And I'm like, AY is right here. He's carrying the camera up and down somewhere here. He's going to be a senior registrar in radiology very soon. So Ayo was telling me one day, and I'm like, and see, before I go anywhere, my reputation precedes me. They're like, are you working with Dr. Gold? She's very wicked. And I'm like, yes, stay wicked. I mean, how do you people say it? Because if I have the aura of being strict, you will do your work before I get there. That helps me a lot. So, when they say Dr. Gold is mean, she's very strict. So it helps me because I'm there, everybody's behaving themselves. So I was there, I'm like, that's him, Dr. A.Y. Sachs coming in. And I'm like, excuse me, do you do anything else apart from medicine? Abi, it's only medicine you are doing. He said, I play the sax, I do this, I do that. I'm like, what? And so since then, A.Y. has been my personal. He does my YouTube channels, my social media channels. He does everything. Everything about this event, AY did everything. And he's also going to be a senior registrar in radiology at the University College Hospital, Ibadan, very soon. This is Dr. Didier Mokware. He's a family physician. He's the CEO of Neo Health. He used to be Outpost Health before. And I have to mention them because when teledermatology was not a thing, I wrote a paper in teledermatology in Nigeria with a few of my colleagues because people were like, nobody's going to pay for teledermatology in Nigeria. I'm telling you, I charge the same amount to be seen physically as the same amount I charge virtually. It is all about value. If you don't pay me, and dermatology, the good thing is there's no emergency per se. So I'll tell you that, when you can afford the fees, you can book the appointment, So he owned that platform, and I saw so many patients, I had to write a paper about teledermatology, and a lot of people are quoting that paper right now. So I wrote the paper. So just to tell you, and he's a board-certified physician in Canada. He did his residency in America, but he lives in Canada. And this is, you guys know Femi. It's called Fola David. We all knew him because he likes to paint. And then from there, he painted a patient with vitiligo. We kind of noticed him in dermatology, and everyone knows about Fola David in dermatology. He's a Guinness World Record holder for painting like the largest picture ever and all that. And then this is Derinsola. Derinsola, the outfit she's wearing in this picture, she was my student in UCH. She made this outfit. That outfit on TikTok, I don't know how many people have ordered that outfit right now. This is Fiyin Foluwa. Fiyin Foluwa used to be my official photographer in UCH, and is a doctor now, he's a dental surgeon. The last thing I'm going to talk about, and I need to talk about it for the medical students. Let's talk about soft skills. Guys, you know what soft skills are? Everybody has the hard skills. Hard skills meaning that when you graduate medical school, you'll be a doctor, whether you like it or not. But what are those things that differentiate you from the average doctor? See, what are they talking about? AI is still going to take all our jobs. Is that not what they keep saying every day, even though I don't believe that? Soft skills are those things that every other person does not have that makes you stand out. And examples, and the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of doctors nowadays, I don't know whether it's a Gen Z thing, something is happening and it is not good. You guys have to talk to yourselves. Soft skills are things like, time management, networking, teamwork, creative thinking, conflict resolution, effective communication. There are some medical students, they cannot hold a conversation. And communication does not have to do with writing. It's not just writing, it's both speaking and writing. You have to be able to read body language. You want to ask for something from your consultant. He's coming in looking angry. Is that the time to ask him for something? So the most important soft skills, why are they important? They complement your art skills. They make you more marketable. AI is not going to take your job if you're a doctor with excellent communication skills. Other people find it easier to work with you because teamwork excellence. You find it easier to navigate uncomfortable situations. There is no situation I cannot navigate. And I say it with all humility. I am somebody that all the difficult conversations, in my family, I'm the firstborn, I have a brother, and they will be like, oh, the guy, in my family, my brother will be like, Shaki, now, go ahead, go and do it, So you become a better version of yourself, and they are an important aspect of your life. The most important ones, if you don't develop anyone, please develop your communication skills. Online, you guys hide behind anonymous accounts, you troll people. I will tell you a situation. When I was a house officer, a senior registrar was rude to me. Do you know what I did? I called. The problem with you people is that you think gra solves everything. If I drag your family, I will drag you and your generation. You don't have to. I called the senior, and Shade knows. I called the senior registrar after rounds. I'm like, doctor, something, can I have a word with you? And I said, do you have a problem? Is there anything wrong with the job I'm doing? Because I need to establish that first. Because as far as I'm concerned, if the work I'm doing, there's no problem with it, there are some certain derogatory terms that you shouldn't use on me. So she used that term on me, and I said, you said something that really hurt me during the round, and I felt that you shouldn't have said that because I felt that it was maybe if it was because of my work or something. And she apologized to me. So communication solves all problems. You just only know how to say the right thing. So I beg of you, I have seen people in interviews, and I mean it this time. Don't think about the fact that you are in Nigeria. Oh, when I leave Nigeria, you guys get a rude shock when you get to America. I promise you, I practice in America right now. And I'm telling you, they know Nigerians as respectful people. So when you get there and you start to behave like the professor that is as old as says, oh, call me Shaki or something. I'm not saying you shouldn't call him Shaki, but a little bit of respect. They know that Nigerians are very respectful. So don't just come in and be like, what's wrong with this? Please, whatever you are taking from Nigeria that is good, take it abroad. It is only going to be a positive for you. It is never going to be a negative. So please make sure that of all I'm telling you the most important soft skills to develop: communication skills, emotional intelligence. You know what that means? Knowing what to say, how to say it, who to say it to, when not to talk. And that's the most important one. A lot of people fail at that. There are sometimes, don't say anything. But the problem is that it takes a while for you to get there. Some of us, I think because of the firstborn thing, I lost my father quite early. It's a bit easy for me. Adaptability and flexibility. Somebody asked me one day, you were a consultant for 5 years. You went back to America. And I can tell you, I know where I'm doing my residency, it's not hidden. Nobody knew I was a consultant until my 3rd year of residency. 3rd year. Because as a house officer, I'm in scrubs. If you are jumping around, I'm jumping around with you. If you are saying, hey, yo, I'm doing, hey, yeah, with you. We are doing the same thing together. Adaptability and flexibility is the most important life survival skill that you have. Because when there's plenty, you can adapt. When there's little, you can adapt. And then your leadership skills. Some of us, wherever I go, I was made a chief resident back in America. It just finds me even when I don't want to do it. And I think I'm learning to accept that now. So professionalism and ethics. Be professional. See, even when I was here in Nigeria, when things were just kind of like funny, I have always been a very proper person. Forget all the jokes and all that. Even on social media, somebody said it one day, they will drag you. I said, they never bond that person. Why will you drag me? Why? Just tell me why. So at the end of the day, when you're professional, when you have the good ethics guiding you, wherever you go, you know that song, wherever you go, wherever you be, do not say yes when you mean to say no. Bye-bye, Ibadan. So I would end my own by telling you that whatever positive thing that you take from here, whether you are home or abroad, and one final thing I'm going to tell you, the answer does not lie in, I want to go abroad. And I'll always tell you, when I was here, my teachers are here, I was an excellent physician. And I'm not saying it because I want to make myself feel good. So when you are here, be here. Do what you're supposed to do. So that when you get there, the excellence goes with you. If you are a shoddy person in Nigeria, you will be shoddy in America. I'm not lying. Because you can't just metamorphose. And from your larva, you just become a butterfly. Like, you're not going to be like that. So whatever good you are doing here, it will benefit you. Just always remember that. Thank you very much. And thank you for listening. And we will continue from here.
Ma, don't go yet. Let's make it more resounding. Dr. Shakirat Gold-Olufadi. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Because we are going into the panel session very shortly, but don't go yet. So that, yeah. Okay. I didn't want to stress you walking back and forth, but no wahala. Please, can we appreciate her once again? That was really, really profound opening remarks by the author, convener, MediThrive Takes Lagos. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. There is a saying that I like to say, and I've adapted it to many situations. You cannot be on stage who you are not on an everyday basis. And I'm just trying to tie it to what Dr. Gold said. You cannot be excellent. If you're not an excellent person, you cannot be excellent in the hospital or whatever field you find yourself. So Dr. Gold's remarks would help us segue into the panel session, which is the crux of why we are here. We need to unpack some of the things she said. We need to hear from industry leaders. We need to hear from those we look up to and hear some of the things that you probably not hear them say in the lecture room, on social media, or in public, because we are about to get very vulnerable with them. Let me just appreciate a few people. Please, when I mention these names, I would like you to give a resounding round of applause. We have Barrister Omotayo Akomode around. Please let me celebrate her. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Gold's sister, blood sister, is also around, Barrister Khadija Gold. Please let's celebrate her. We also have Mrs. Aduni Adebayo. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Aino Temitayo, thank you. Dr. Ejiro Onoro, thank you. Adekoya Nasiruddin, Mr. Femi Olufadi, thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Wosheni, thank you so much for joining us. Mrs. Adepoju Zainab, thank you so much for joining us. I would now call on our panelists to join us on stage. And I'll start with our lead panelist, our head panelist. He has been given that title today. Once again, as I said earlier. Oh, okay. As I said earlier, he's a consultant nephrologist with over 30 years experience, a professor of internal medicine, and the deputy chairman, Medical Advisory Committee, Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome him upstage, a resounding round of applause for Professor Babawale Taslim Bello. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Thank you. Sir, pick your choice. Yes. Okay. Joining him on stage is, permit me if I call her the skin goddess, a consultant dermatologist, genitourinary physician, senior lecturer in internal medicine department of the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Dr. Erere Otrofanowe. Thank you. Beautiful. I'd also like to invite upstage consultant hematologist, medical director, Next Hematology Medicare, one of our partners, Dr. Folashade Popola. Thank you. Joining us on stage, since I've said consultant, permit me to also say, joining us on stage, consultant storyteller, the founder of Aproko Doctor Global, the biggest expert when it comes to digital health of Nigeria and Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Chinonso Egemba, Aproko Doctor. We'd also like to invite the Deputy CMAC, Lasut, the Deputy Chairman, Medical Advisory Committee, Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, consultant pulmonologist, Dr. Oluwafemi Ojo. Thank you. And I'm doing this off the cuff. I'm doing this very spontaneously because it was not part of the plan. But I have a very strong feeling that we are going to be able to tap into something. I don't know what it is, but I'm almost certain we can tap into something. I want to crave the indulgence of Dr. Mohammed Alimi Abdurazak to join us on stage, our chairperson. Because I believe that there is a lot from that almost 50 years experience that we, the young ones, can tap into. And this was not planned. I'm sure Dr. Goldie mentioned this today. I had to just do this myself. And then, of course, last definitely not the least, our host, the convener, the author of MediThrive, consultant dermatologist, Dr. Shakirat Gold-Olufadi. Please join us on stage. Beautiful. Let's keep clapping. Let's keep clapping. Thank you. Okay. And of course, I will be moderating the panel. And it's really, really heartwarming that I can sit amongst. Okay, the second mic. It's very heartwarming that I can sit. The cumulative age on this is older than, I can say almost older than the United States. I stand to be corrected. The cumulative age and its wisdom on display. So please, I beg you, if you were distracted, this is the moment to listen because I came prepared. The questions I have curated are very, very vulnerable personal questions. But don't worry, we won't be spilling anything that we shouldn't be spilling. But let's start. I just want to lighten things up a little, just to open the conversation. The name of the book is MediThrive. And it talks about how we can balance life, whether you're in medicine or not, but balance that life and balance the life outside as a young person. So I want the audience here to hear you say two interesting things about yourself that is not related to what you do. So we'll use that to open the conversation. Chief panelist, you are with the microphone, sir. So, two interesting things about yourself that is not related in any way to what you do. Let them know that you have a life outside medicine.
So, okay, it's interesting. Two things. Okay, Riri knows one. Do a lot of music. So, I remember Professor Kubade just says that he's not just into music, he's a concerner. So I'm into a lot of music. People who know me know that. But not many people know that I'm into IT. I think that that's one part of me now that, so whatever you do, you can always bring it to add to what your primary interests are. So for example, over the last 2 years, I've sort of been responsible for the digitization of the hospital's processes.
Wow.
And that knowledge of IT has actually helped to drive that.
I thought you would give a round of applause. Come on.
Something that maybe it's a branching out of that. Atrof and I have been discussing a podcast for times immemorial. We've been discussing it, but now we've brought that to reality. So Lut now has a podcast. Wow. I think our fourth episode is today. Comes every Friday at 5:30
on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Amazing.
The Lut website is on Spotify. You can find it on Instagram, on X. So music, IT come together to bring that. So I think that's maybe one.
Amazing, amazing. I would never have imagined. And I'm saying that because I checked all over social media, all over the internet for information about you, sir. And I could find nothing. So that's interesting. Dr. Otrof.
So Otrof, no way.
I'm sorry, ma.
No, it's fine.
Sorry,
it's just something we laugh about.
I'm sorry. Dr. Otrof, no way.
Right. Okay, I think some people will say that I'm an adrenaline junkie. They say so, I don't think so. But you will find me skydiving, paragliding, trying to jump up something and doing all of this. So yeah, I think that's not related to medicine at all.
No, very unrelated. So you skydive and you para.
And a few others, but just giving you just one of those things. And if I wasn't doing medicine, I will be acting. I like the arts, as it were, theater arts, music, piano, all those things seemingly unrelated to science. And I try to bring that into bear in medicine. So students know me. I teach communication. We act. We're trying to do things on the Nigerian Association of Dermatology. My patients are talking, I react and act it again. So I think that when I'm tired of medicine, if they would have me, I'll go into theater.
If there was one actress that you would like to feature, if you had an opportunity to act a blockbuster movie and there was an actress you had to share the stage with, who would that be?
That's a bit tough. A bit tough.
Either Nigerian or...
Quite many. I would say, well, I don't know if they still know her. No. Joke Jacobs.
Hey.
Joke Silva.
Joke Silva.
Olu Jacobs' wife.
Yeah.
And then in the new age, the newer people, she's very dramatic, but I don't remember her name offhand. If I remember the movie, okay. Say thank you.
Amazing. Or Bimbo Ademoye. Bimbo Ademoye. Dr. Popola.
Hi, Georgie. It's nice to see you like this, because I remember when you were my house officer and you said something about talk doctor. I'm like, what is talk doctor? We said you should set line. You're talking about talk doctor. But I'm very happy that you're doing this and you're doing very well. Well done. Shakirat Gold. Here we go. We go ages back. I'm just so proud of her in all ways. Two things. Music. I've always, music has been a part of my DNA.
When I saw you at an Endless Ocean concert and you were booking down, I was
Tickets in May. The concert was 2 weeks ago, but like nothing would make me miss an Endless Oceans concert. Nothing, you know? And there was even another, the Afrobeat Gospel night where all of them came. My children too. We went there together. We're jumping together, you know? It is especially gospel music for me because without God, there's nothing. And that renews the spirit, that revives the soul, that gives meaning. And so for me, I wake up in the morning, I play music. I'm having a bath, I play music. My children know, so they know where to go to on the phone and they choose their own, they request their own, you know. Now it's Shopware by Spyro. That's my sons. You know, so music, and interior decoration, I think, comes so natural. When people come to the clinic and they say, "Oh, who is your?" I'm like, "Me." "Oh, who is your?" "It's me." "Who did it?" "It's me." "You want the painter's name?" And you know, that comes naturally as well. Thank you.
amazing. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Bila. Farid. By the way, Dr. Gold's children are here. Dr. Gold's children are here. Farid and Bilal, somewhere around. Say hello, wave for us now. Let's see. Just wave. Oh, that's beautiful.
I think at the risk of sounding like a broken cymbal, most doctors I've met are actually drawn to the arts one way or the other. And I think they forced us to study medicine. Or somehow society just made us do it. But one interesting thing about me also is that I usually do music on the side. I love music. For me, it's a part of expression that that we're trying to express. Second thing might not be interesting, but a lot of people don't realize that I am a complete introvert. Like, I am an introvert. But then, because of the persona that they see, especially on your screens, they meet me in public and they expect that person. So sometimes going outside is very, very tiring because you need to act, and all that. Some people meet you, and because of the way they've interacted with you on the screen, they sort of feel like you are their friend. There was one incident that really, really caught my attention. I was in an eatery somewhere at Oba Kinjobi Way or something, and this lady just ran to my table and picked over my plate. Said, "I want to see what you're eating. I want to see what you're eating." And we laughed so much about it, but that's not who I am personally. I am the kind of person who, and my friends know, my family know, that you come in, once we've spoken for like 10 minutes, give me time to recalibrate again and then have that conversation. So, and then I'm also an adrenaline junkie. If you put me in a fast car, you're going to regret sitting beside me. But yeah.
Amazing.
Good afternoon, everyone, esteemed panelists. I would like to appreciate God, first of all, for the opportunity to share this stage with the eminent personalities, my teachers and my seniors and my colleagues. I would like to say that when I saw the flyer, I told my people that I think I may have to decline this. Because all these people, I know them to be orators. And this is me that I don't like to talk, you know, but I summon the courage. So thank you for the opportunity. To say things that, I like to do or I love to do outside medicine, I think I will try to rephrase, I will try to change the question a little bit. I recall when, while preparing to come for this program, I told one of my senior friends that, what about if they ask me what I don't know? He told me, he said, just set your own question and make sure you say something. I'm a professional photographer, and most people don't know that about me. A professional photographer that has never practiced. I recall when I finished secondary school, my brother told me that while you're trying to gain admission, to uni, that it's better for you to get yourself fixed. And I was enrolled for 6 months in photography school. And I actually had freedom. They did freedom for me. That was in 1997, but I've never practiced. But now that you have raised the question, I think it's time for me to reactivate my retirement plan. Another thing that I'd love to do, and I think about a lot, is actually business. And I'm hoping that very soon when I retire, I'll be a businessman. But I love to listen. I love to listen to music, and I love to watch films. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. The question is, well, first of all, for those who were not here when I was introduced, I'm a lawyer of about 47 years, post-call. So the question in my case is, what outside the law takes my attention? And my straight answer is medicine. And Dr. Gold would attest to this, because she, at every single turn, whether she's here in America or anywhere else, the slightest thing that happens to me or to my friends or neighbors, she's my go-to person. That's after I've gone through the Google and tried to find out what the solution is, but I still don't come to any cure. I always come back to her. So she's been giving me free medical services over the years, and I thank you for that. The second thing outside law is, well, I'll say swimming and diving. So like my colleagues here, I'm an adrenaline junkie. I do, whenever I'm abroad, I go diving, I go snorkeling, I do a lot of that. There are many other things. The third one, if I go beyond that, is education. I love taking care of kids, I love teaching. We do have a school in Lagos here, the sixth form college called Bridge House College. And occasionally I do go in to teach the students. So those are really exciting engagements which I have. Thank you very much.
So outside of medicine, you already know, I love to write. And then I dance a lot. And in my mind, I'm going to be on America's Got Talent one day singing. So that's the other thing I like to do.
And I say amen to that. It won't be bad to be an America Got Talent winner. Great. And I asked this question because I wanted to lay the foundation to let you know that the people we have here are doing a lot of things apart from what you probably see on the surface. I divided the questions into two categories: surviving life and surviving medical school. And so I want to start the questions we The questions it might not be individualized, but probably you take one answer from here and we'll take one answer from here. And I want to start with Japa. Because it's in this room, we have young people on this side, and it seems to be normalized. And I'm looking at the eminent personalities on this stage, and they sort of are rooted in Nigeria. Yes, Dr. Gold, you are outside, but you could have decided not to do this. Dr. Gold has come back into the country literally at least 3 times this year. So everyone on this stage is rooted. But if we ask people down, they seem to want to leave. And I want, sir, Dr. Alimi, I want you to answer this because you've probably lived the longest amongst us. You've gone in and out, but you've rooted yourself here. Why? Why didn't you jump on the bandwagon? We'll take an answer there, so you might decide who takes it on that end. But
well, a straight answer to your question is that I would not discourage any of you from going abroad. Why? Because you need to try and strive to expand your knowledge. And some of the best facilities, education institutions in the world are there for you to explore, for you to qualify, and to even practice. But after gathering all the knowledge and experience, I plead with you to please, you need to come back home. There's no greater country than Nigeria. Nigeria, as far as I'm concerned, is the best country in the world. Things may appear difficult here. Yes, but in any problem you see or come across is a potential, an opportunity for you to thrive. By your word. And in thriving, you gain opportunities to better yourself and also to contribute to the development of our country. I'll give you an example. Again, going back to my college, which is called Bridge House College, we established it essentially in response to parents who were looking for their kids to go abroad to study the 6th form, A-levels. And Nigerians are paying a lot of money for their kids to go there to study 6th form. And I said, why not? Why can't we do the same thing here? And we did the same thing. And over the last 20 years of the college, over 4,000 students have gone through us and gone abroad. And majority of those students have come back and are pursuing very successful careers back home. So I'm not discouraging you from going. Do your best, try and strive to get abroad, get the best education, but always try and come back home to establish the best institutions in the world. And we have the best doctors in the world, and that's universally acknowledged. And for that, I want to thank our teachers, medical teachers here and lecturers, for what they're doing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alimi. May I also just add, and I was skeptical whether I should add or not, but I've been given express permission. Dr. Alimi Abdulrazak is the elder brother of the executive governor of Kwara State. His Excellency, Dr. Abdulrazak. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. So we would have an answer from the, let's say, the right wing or the left wing.
Since you chose the person who's been around longest on that side, guys here to voted for the person who's been around longest on this side. And it's an interesting question. I'm not sure that there's any right or wrong answer about Jakpa. So oftentimes people look at it from a point of concern. And maybe in the short term, that's the challenge. But if you go back, we've all jackpot from somewhere. So you'd find that my parents were born in Ife. They schooled in Ife. But they jackpot to Lagos and raised their family in Lagos. If you probe them, they tell you because they wanted better opportunities or found better opportunities. I think that it's just a human phenomenon for people to move to where they think that they can find something better. And I think that that's the way we need to look at it. If we look at it that way, then the people who are intending to leave will maybe be under less pressure. They say, okay, it's an opportunity for me to go and look for something better. Not everybody sees outside the country as a source of something better. So again, we would have those who wouldn't just be interested in living. Maybe they are not wise or something, but they won't be interested in living. And it's not this thing. I'm one of those people who just didn't think of living. So maybe I wasn't wise. I was a resident here in the early 2000s or something. And as far back as then, I obtained a membership of the Royal College of Physicians. Yes, so in the UK. And my trainers never for 1 minute thought I was going to stay. They were so sure. So before I finished residency, I was already a member of the Royal College of Physicians. But my trainers never thought I was going to stay. They were absolutely convinced that once I'm done, I'm going to the UK. So when I told them that I wanted to stay, they didn't even believe until Reddington offered me a job. Then they said, wait, are you really planning to stay? I said, yeah, you can't go to Reddington. Come and join us here, something like that. Looking back, do I regret that decision? I don't think so. I've only ever wanted to do something, that's to teach people. That's all I wanted to do right from when I was a medical student. Something that I just found pleasure in, being able to impart knowledge on others. So should people leave? It just depends on what you want for yourself. Many people who leave are successful, but you must remember that there are also many people who have left and don't have that success story to tell or fulfillment. And there are many people who haven't left and they are fulfilled. They are successful. So you just need to ask yourself what you want. Now, but there's also a positive side to Japa, and you would find it in the health space a lot. So a lot of people who left while they were younger and are back now when they're much older. So the current coordinating minister for health, is a Japa product of Japa. So he left many years ago, rose in the vaccines industry, back as Minister for Health. The current DG of National Nigeria Health Insurance Agency, been abroad for a long time, is back. So again, there's that part. So there's going to be some people who will never leave. There's going to be some people who would leave and come back. And there's going to be some people who would leave and never come back. They would not have many good things to say about the country. So it depends on your view. So the question is whether people should Japa or not Japa. I think you should ask yourself, what do you want? Once you've determined what you want, there's usually multiple routes to get into that point. And then you need to look at those pathways. They're going to have their advantages and disadvantages, but there's not going to be only one pathway to where you intend to be. And once you've done that, then you need to choose that which is most appropriate for you. I think that maybe if I was being selfish, I'd like you to look at life as a situation where, since you've chosen clinical medicine to practice, you're going to have to serve others. If you need to serve others, why don't you serve those that are your people? So whether you leave or stay, just keep that in mind, that you're going to spend the rest of your life serving others. So you need to choose who you want to serve.
That was very insightful. That was very insightful. To thyself be true, know who you are, and then that will help you make a good decision. I would stay on that side. And the question is under the category surviving medical school. I have experienced, apart from Dr. Alimi, I've experienced, and let's say a Aproko doctor who wasn't actively like I didn't experience him in the clinical space. I think I've experienced every other person on some level at some point while I was in this compound. And I can say for a certain that we have some of the most excellent physicians on stage. A resounding round of applause. Very excellent people in their various fields. But this question I want to give to someone who I experienced on a closer level that I think is deeply excellent, Dr. Popola. So please, can we give her the microphone? And I think that you be fit to answer this question because you set a very high standard for what work as a physician should be. And it's all or nothing for you. And that's why you run a hugely successful enterprise at Next Hematology. And the question I want to ask you is, what is that one habit that you see in a thriving medical student or a thriving young person? So I'm just trying to combine the two because I know we have people in this room who might not necessarily be medical students. But what's that one habit you see in a thriving medical student or young person that sets them apart from those who are just surviving the workload, who just want to show up and just make it be like, say, I just did? What's that one thing? What's that one habit?
Very good question. That one habit for me is to know yourself. To your own self be true. So we are all different. We are all different individuals. We have different temperaments. We have different likes and dislikes. We have our own way that God has made us. And you as a person, you have to know yourself. And when we look at our children growing up now, and you can have 3 children, and they may all 3 came from you and your husband, and they are all totally different. The words they speak, the way they say them, their temperament, their likes, their dislikes, and you wonder how amazing God is, in the way he designs us. It's important to know yourself. Are you the kind of person that is not so sure about what you want to do, or are you the kind of person that nobody can tell you any difference? This is where you're going, this is where you're going. Are you the kind of person that will start something and manage to finish it, or are you somebody that will go all the way and get it done? Are you the kind of person that requires encouragement or motivation from external sources to get things done, or are you the self-motivated kind of person? Are you the kind of person that will see the cup half full or see the cup half empty? Are you the stubborn coconut head, that they beat a lot, the black sheep of the family, in quotes, not because you're bad, but because you are just that person that the second born like me, and you're not defined by any other person's standards. This is who I am, like it or not, it's okay. So for me, in medical school, I had always known that, first of all, I'm a lone ranger. I work on my own. I had many friends. I had many friends. I got along with people, even though I'm an introvert. But I also like my space. I like to do my thing. So getting into medical school, it wasn't difficult. And I always liked social life. And thankfully, my parents are also very social, even though my dad, also a professor of psychiatry. He would say, look, if you want to go to parties, go to parties. If you want to, but just make sure you read your book because you're on your own, So I would go to parties. That was 100 level, 200. When the grades were looking shaky, like, come. How do we manage this thing? So I knew, look, I had to sit down and focus a bit more. Okay, so how do I focus? I don't do night classes. I don't read with people. My sister, who is also a medical doctor, that's my older sister, the TV is playing, music is playing, she's reading. Nah, that's not me. The door is locked. Everything is off. I'm focused. I have my red, green, blue, black biro. I have my ruler. And I am sitting down and I am crossing the T's and dotting the I's. It will stick. I have to read it 3 times, for it to stick, like for me to remember 90% of what I've read. This is what I had noticed, because you know yourself. And so if I want to pass well, I know what to do. If I want to pass, and then, there's some subjects that should just come naturally. Hematology, that was where my love for hematology started, actually, 400 level pathology. It's a combined course with the other 3. Hematology, I would get 90% easily. Not like, I just love the way the cells progressed and it would just stick. So I saw that, and that boosted my pathology. But I never wanted to do lab medicine. I always wanted to interact with patients. I didn't know how that would come about eventually until I got to clinical hematology. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm where I'm supposed to be. And then, of course, I saw the gap in the things that existed and the things that we were supposed to be doing. And I was like, okay, so there's something to do here, right? But for medical school, I never went to night class. If I was going to night class, I was going to play. I would not carry any book. I just didn't want to read that night. I would just say hello to everybody. Hey, what's going on? Walk around the corridor, pose a bit, and go and sleep. But when I'm reading, nobody will see me. I'm locked out for 2 weeks. When I'm in that room, the only thing I go out to do is use the restroom and eat and back. I can read for 8 hours straight. That is me. So I've always known these kind of things about myself. And so I never failed any exam in medical school, really. We went through it, and thank God it saw us through. But like I said, it was because I already knew my own self and how I could thrive. So it's important for everyone, and it's not just in medicine, in life. You have to know yourself. You have to know what your gifts are, what your strengths are, and what your weaknesses are. And how do you make sure you hone your strengths so that you make the best of whatever it is that you're doing? So I've always been that way. The best way to survive life is to know yourself and to make sure that you play to your strengths in all that you do. Thank you.
Amazing. Know yourself, and that will help you thrive. Please, can you pass the microphone to Dr. Chinonso Egemba, Broco Doctor? For those of you who do not know, he practiced for a long time. He's an excellent physician, and it was of his own decision and life also deciding that they won't play you fast on, and you decided to leave. And you built such a hugely successful career, simplifying and just, what's the word to use? In marketing, I think they call it sachetalization of healthcare. Just really breaking it down in bits and pieces for a regular, everyday person to be able to understand. And for medical students, especially this generation of medical students, is a generation of adventure. You see a lot of them doing so many things apart from medicine. I mean, the person who decorated is a medical, everybody that has done something in this room is a medical student. And there's always been that conflict. How do I combine? Yes, either I was forced to study medicine or I wanted to study medicine, but I also have discovered myself and I see that I have flair for this and this and this. Can I combine it? How to combine it? Will one suffer? Can I leave one for the other? Can I stay in one and carry the two? Can you just break it down and just share ideas on how those competencies can be managed?
Thank you very much for that question. And once again, a round of applause for Dr. Gold. Yeah, I mean, putting this together and bringing young people together, you really need to understand how much of an impact this is going to have, especially on the lives of these young people. And that's because looking back at medical school, I was confused a lot. Confused because a lot of us had the same problems that we're having now, which is you see yourself shining in other aspects of your life that it's not quote unquote related to medicine. And it's almost looking like you have this flair for it. We also need to understand early enough that there are different types of intelligence. Intelligence necessarily is not your ability to recall what was written in a book. Some people, you put them in a car, especially racing drivers, they have that racing intelligence. They're able to tell this is the shorter line. It will be difficult for somebody who does not have that kind of intelligence to thrive in a field like that. And so going through life, going through experiences, there are some things that you naturally excel at that might not be linked to what you're doing. But if I'm the youngest person on this stage, by the way, but if you...
The youngest.
No, it's me. It's me. I identify as the youngest person on the stage. So if you live long enough, you're going to see that there is a particular line that connects all your experiences together. Now, aside from Aproko Doctor, a lot of people don't know that we actually started a health startup called Our Doc that still thrives on sachetalization of medicine. So the woman who is in a market somewhere in my 12 can still have access to quality health information via WhatsApp, right? It's still that it's still that sachetalization. But going through medical school, I had a friend called Harold. He's dead now, right? God rest his soul. And while we were in medical school, we were very close friends. Very close friends because it felt like Harold was the only person. And the reason I'm telling this story is because there are probably some people here that you feel like you don't fit in to the conventional medical school. Just stick with it. Continue and just let time take its toll. But be excellent at everything you choose to do. Now, Harold and I will sit down and we'll create the future. Our doc had existed in Harold's and in both our conversations. This was as far back as 2012, 2013. Oh, we're going to build this. This is what we are going to do. We are going to hire the best in the world. This is what we're going to do. And a lot of people will come into Harold's conversation and my conversation, and I'm like, I beg, you should be more focused on how you're going to pass your second MBRB, your third MB, rather than you're going to build this, you're going to build that. So we necessarily didn't fit in. But it did not stop me from dreaming. It did not stop me from doing the things that I could do. For example, speaking or telling stories come naturally to me. Why? One of the reasons is I did not shy away from the responsibility of leading a fellowship in school. Leading a fellowship in school required you to actually tell a lot of biblical stories because you're telling stories. That was where my skills in public speaking and all of that actually came across. Now, you're going to realize that while you might not fit in, you should not rob yourself of the opportunity to actually continue to hone those skills. Because life is too long for you to tell whether a skill is useful or not. You don't know when it's going to come in. It is my experience in leading a fellowship that has given me the ability to actually lead people in 2-3 different organizations, and all of them are thriving. Sometimes people look and I'm like, how are you doing all of this together? I tell them, I have a skill. My skill is bring out the best out of people, right? So if you're here as a young person that doesn't fit in, you have a skill in something else that doesn't really require, being quote unquote a medical doctor. what I would ask you to do is you also need to identify if that skill is important enough for you. You also need to understand that you cannot eat your cake and have it. A lot of people who are in medical school that I used to envy were people who focused on book. That's the only thing they know. I was not entirely focused on book. I would give myself opportunities to actually explore other things. But I cannot pay the same sacrifice that that same person is paying. So if that person is spending 8 hours reading, I know that I've already spent 4 hours outside. My remaining 4 hours cannot be wasted deceiving myself that I was studying. So when I'm studying, I choose what's best for me. There are different tactics that work for you. I'm not the lock yourself in a room and read. I am a, where is the chaos? Go inside the chaos and go, and that's where I want to be. Sometimes I love when the room is noisy, right? Because that's where I read the best. If you put me in night class, I'm going to sleep. It doesn't work. The only time night class will work for me is when there's exam the next day. And I know that what I'm doing is cramming. I vividly remember one exam like that where, I'm not kidding, I read from 8 o'clock then on, 8 a.m. I read 8 a.m. the day before till 2 a.m. of the exam day. Don't do it. And the reason I'm saying don't do it was, by the time it now got to the exam, has information ever knocked in? You know when information is knocking each other? Because it's not arranged. There are so many things jumbling each other, and it was by the grace of God that we're able to pass that exam. But after that exam, I came out and I knew that I cannot do the same thing that other people will do and expect to pass. I know that I'm also exploring other things, so I need to pay the sacrifice. And even in life, it's the same thing. Some people want to have everything, but you can't. So just think of your life as having 100%. If you're 70 at one, you need to know that you have 30% for the rest of the other things. It could be your family, it could be your friendship, it could be your relationship, it could be your other things. So most times when you find that people are excellent in one thing, trust me, they've made sacrifices in other things. So you need to assess your life, and this is where I'll stop. You need to assess your life and really identify the things that are important to you and make them a priority, and ensure that these other things, I may not have them now, but I will have them later and treat them as it. Thank you.
That was very profound, very profound. And it still comes back to know yourself. Know yourself. Please, I'd like to invite Dr. Folakemi Adeife-Cole to join us on stage. She's one of our panelists. Please let's keep clapping. Consultant dermatologist and genitourinary physician, a dancer, an entertainer, everything in one. I mean, combining arts and medicine very excellently. Thank you so much for joining us. Your boy is not here, our assistant MC. Okay, I'm going to direct this question to Dr. Ojo. And we've just talked about people who have, I think that everyone has some creative side. And when we started the conversation, we talked about two interesting things that everyone does that is not related to your profession. But let's come back to there are people who genuinely want to practice. And I think there are a lot of them. It's just that the generation we are in and social media makes it look like if you are not outside, then maybe there's something wrong with you. But actually, the essence of studying the medicine is to practice. And there are people who genuinely want to. And there's always an issue with specialties. Picking special, we have a dermatology, we have dermatologists, we have hematology, we have, if I were to categorize a doctor in, it would probably be maybe public health, right? We had a nephrologist, we have by extension, a Googleologist by extension, by association. And we have Dr. Joe, a pulmonologist. So first off, why did you pick that specialty? And what should the young ones have in mind when picking a specialty? Because growing up, the specialties that always came to mind were those that had some prestige and razzmatazz, and it was sweet, it was mouth candy, it was easy to, right? So why did you pick pulmonology, and what would you advise? What is that truth that everyone looking to pick a specialty in medicine must know before picking?
Thank you very much for the question. The reason for picking my specialty, will actually sound a little bit funny. I did my house job here, and I am so happy to say confidently today that the person that received me into medicine, I think I started with medicine, is actually Dr. Wosheni as house officer. That was in 2009. And she was the chief reg, at that point. And I rotated through endocrinology. And I think it was Dr. Enang that was my SR, and Dr. Lamoyegu. Those were the two SRs. And they actually motivated me that you can actually do medicine. They said so many things about internal medicine. But why I actually did medicine, was because at that time, I wrote my primaries during house job. And there's a place where they sell materials for primaries in Comsa. I went there and I looked at the materials for each specialty. And I realized that the least voluminous materials for internal medicine, for primaries was actually internal medicine. And I decided to go for that. But again, so many people discouraged me that, okay, yeah, we had a lot to do during house job, that house job was not the best time to write primaries and all that. And I was fortunate enough to pass that primaries, at first sitting. One thing I know is that people have different reasons, for picking, specialties. Some people will tell you that, okay, maybe my family, has maybe medical issue, and I decided to study medicine. Some people will tell you that, okay, maybe my family member or someone close to me, has suffered from a surgical, issue. Then, I've decided to, to do surgery. So you have to, there's usually a reason why. I give this other example. If you look at my yearbook, I think I was fascinated to actually going for cardiothoracic surgery, and that's what you're going to find there. I said I wanted to become a cardiothoracic surgery, but I'm not far from there because I'm a chest specialist. I mutated from being a surgeon, a cardiothoracic surgeon, to being a chest specialist. So you have to be clear, about what you really want to do. Then coming to pulmonology, the person that actually motivated me to do pulmonology, is actually Adelu, because Adelu was my senior registrar. And Adelu, told me that there's a whole lot that you can do in pulmonology. And he told me that pulmonology is the biggest subspecialty in medicine. Pulmonology is divided into 7 subspecialties: sleep medicine, interventional pulmonology, environmental medicine, aeronautics, and so on and so forth, oncology, allergy, immunology. So I became so fascinated, to pulmonology. So thanks to him, for encouraging me to do pulmonology. And looking back now, I think I feel so happy. Another thing that actually fascinated me to pulmonology on the downside. You know, I was like, I wanted something very light, something that will give me opportunity. That will give me opportunity to be able to do so many things. And at that time, I just felt pulmonology was that space. And so many people were abusing me that besides because you're very lazy, you don't want to do anything. So you need to be sure of what you want, because at the end of the day, you are going to be stuck there, you know, for so many years. So you really have to love what you're doing, you know, very, very important. So be clear. And I want to emphasize on the role of mentors. You know, when you are confused, you have to speak to people, you know, let them guide you. You know, it's very, very important. You know, mentorship, 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 very, very important. If you're confused, try to speak to someone. Try to speak to people ahead of you. You know, they can guide you to choose specialty, because it's something you are going to do for a very long time. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, you're there. Okay? Even when you are retired, okay? Because that's still what you're going to be doing. So make sure you pick what is quite interesting and what you really love to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ojo. You picked your specialty because the book was not voluminous. I took note of that. But you're doing very well. You're doing very well. And I'm even rising to become a deputy CMAC. It's not easy. Please, can we celebrate Dr. Ojo once again? Thank you. I just have one question for Dr. Folakemi and then Dr. Gold, and then the last set of questions, and we round off. So in the next 20, 30 minutes, we'll be done. Dr. Folakemi, welcome. But let me start with Dr. Otrofanowe. You talk about how you interact a lot with students, and I'm sure you probably must have experienced students, young doctors, even junior colleagues have bad days at work or bad days in the class. So I want to ask, how do you handle a medical error or a bad day on the ward or in class without letting it crush your confidence as a student?
Thank you very much, Dr. George, and well done, Gold. Thanks to everybody who's here. That's actually a very, very interesting question, and is a needed question, because I've heard not once, not twice, quite a number of times when students or younger colleagues come up, and I think Dr. Gold mentioned when she was talking about how something happened during a ward round, and I think that for seniors, if you've been hit by harsh words or being criticized as opposed to being critiqued, the learning curve should be that you don't want somebody to experience what you experience. That should be the learning curve. But sometimes we find that that's actually not what happens. In fact, many times we hear senior doctors saying, is this the thing that happened to you? I beg, do you know my time? Do you know what so and so person did? And then in a jocular manner, they start to curate past experiences about what they went through, which they didn't like, but for some reason, it didn't change their own way. And there's one of my favorite maxims. I'm always saying, whatever it is that you do, think about the ripple effect of what it is that you're doing, considering the fact that that ripple may bear upon you positively or negatively. So of course, if you want a positive ripple effect, try to give a positive impact. So I don't know, I think my students may tell differently, but generally, for both patients, colleagues, that's medical, younger or junior or senior, and even other healthcare professionals, I think the important thing is for them, first of all, if they don't know you, the way you'll say certain things might be interpreted wrongly. You could be jocular about something, and you could say, come, what's wrong with you? Behave yourself. And somebody who doesn't know you will be like, why did she talk like that? Why did he talk like that? But those who know you will be like, oh, she didn't mean it, or, you know. But beyond trying to always cage yourself, because we've been saying to yourself, be true. So in trying not to cage yourself, when you are correcting and when you are critiquing, it should always be at the back of your mind, this is a teachable moment. What is the person going to take away from this? Sometimes you can personalize an issue and let the person know how you feel in front of everybody so that the rest will learn from it and you're not having to go one by one by one by one. Some other times when you think that this is bad, and if it's affecting you so badly, you might have to call this person aside, oh, and say it in front of them that I would like to speak with you later. Everybody automatically knows that, okay, there is something going on. And if they're inquisitive enough, or they think that this was important enough, they may go back and ask the person that's what happened, what did she do, what did she say, what did you have to do about it? Professor Bello has left. He was actually going to talk about it. He had a student, actually, was a medical student, and the person was supposed to be at his ward round or his clinic. And he was just sitting down there. He was late. He sat down, didn't say anything. Professor Bello went into his office and came back to the clinic. No comment. He didn't greet up. He didn't greet. SRs came in, residents came in, and he was just there. I think he was late for something and they had told that he should come for the clinic. Well, he literally was just there and didn't do anything. So at some point, he was thinking to himself that, what's wrong with this young man? Why did you not take part? But he was already upset that these students, they just misbehaved. They're, what is this attitude of just being yourself? And he tried to alert the guy, but he didn't say anything. Later on, he said, the guy now came up and said, oh, I'm part of this class. Like, you are in this class. You must be joking. Walked out. So he walked him out of the class. And when he was telling me this story, I just said, is he okay? And he was like, what do you mean? But he's obviously not okay. I said, no. Is he okay mentally? Because sometimes, I know this Gen Z generation, and sorry, we're generalizing, is very big on, yeah, affecting me. Myself and a protocol doc were talking about it. I didn't like the way you made me feel. You affected my mental health, and I'm depressed. I'm like, I'm traumatized. That's the word. And I'm like, that depression is a medical diagnosis. Be very careful how you use it loosely. But to be honest, because maybe how they've been trained or whatever, their coping skills are very, 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 very slim, much fewer, and probably different from what some people are calling others fossils now that are. So I will say that we all have to be mindful, not overly much, because I'm very quick to tell you when you do wrong and praise when necessary, but we have to be mindful to not categorize generally and just put somebody in a box and say, this one is a ne'er-do-well. It doesn't, because they might actually be dealing with something and they don't know how to speak out. So the critiquing and the criticizing, the when is actually very important. The when to do that is very important. The how is also very important. And the feedback is definitely needed.
You've answered one part, but can you touch on, as a student, when you're having a bad day, when you've made mistakes that it looks like the whole world is weighing on you, how do you manage that so that it doesn't affect your studies, affect your work, or affect your output to life?
Okay, thank you. So again, knowing yourself. Where do you go to when you are in a bad space? Where do you turn to? Who do you turn to? She talked about the fact that at the end of the day, you know your maker. God knows who you are, and you have that to talk about. However, some of my friends used to say, I talk to God. When you tell me that God is talking to you back, we'll put you inside psychiatry home. So you have to have the human personnel, social capital we're talking about, but you will have one or two persons who know you to the core so that you can actually be true that this is what happened. Sometimes as a doctor, I always tell my students that we're trying to make you have a degree and a license that is 007, but we don't want you, it's not license to kill, it's a license to skill. I'm always doing that that's what we are trying as teachers, giving you this MBBS that is actually a license to skill, but when used wrongly, it's a license to kill. And even sometimes to the best of your ability, you try and you make a mistake. That will happen because the one thing we are is that we're not God. So that will happen. Now, when that happens, the best thing to do is to own up. Because in owning up, it's a physical and a mental act that I am not infallible. When you own up as opposed to covering up, then people around you know that, this one, we are trusting you that, okay, this was wrong and this is what I did when I got it wrong. But if you internalize it to the point where you've tried to cover up, you've tried to look for who to shift the blame to. No, it was the reg that said I should do this. It was this person that you are, putting it onto somebody else, as opposed to what did you do wrongly? So when you own up to it first, that's the first lift. Then when you come out to the next person that is there, who maybe also asks that, is it this thing I did? Is this really, really what happened? Because sometimes, in a traumatic situation, you might be twisting what you think you saw. Completely be sure that this is what happened. So you are sure of your facts. And then you tell your mentor. This is where mentor comes in. Your immediate person, if you are not the top of the range, as in fourth on call, this is if you were a doctor, if you were a student, and God forbid, you sort of spied. Nowadays they say they don't call it cheating again. You helped yourself to your own self be true. You know that you did something wrong. You find a way to, I said, because now some people say, go confess. I don't know. There are so many other ways you can reason it out. But in the practice, when you are growing in the practice, it's best for you to actually speak up to this wrong, because it's a learning moment. That's a learning curve. It's a teachable moment too, because you can use it to teach the next person who went through that. But I think it's important to have a mentor or a senior or somebody who at least you admire their clinical skills and ethics, so they can help you deal with that error and learn from it.
Amazing, amazing.
Thank you very much.
That was well said. That was well said. Amazing. Dr. Folakemi Adefeko. This question is for you. I don't know whether it has changed now, but in schools, we don't really pay a lot of attention to soft skills. It's a lot more academic, even though we try to teach other, but we can't really blame anyone. So I want to ask you, what are for a medical student to thrive, what are the three, in your opinion, the three most important soft skills that can help them thrive and help them survive in the outside world? The three most important, in your opinion.
Okay, thank you very much, and sincere apologies for coming in late. Sometimes Lagos deals with you. So thank you for the question. It's been an amazing talk so far. And as you rightly said, soft skills are most important. And these days, we learn about emotional intelligence being as important, or even more important when it comes to success, as your IQ. So your EQ is as important as IQ. And soft skills kind of define your level of emotional intelligence or your emotional quotient, so to speak. And I would say one of the most important, or the top three, would be communicating, understanding how to communicate with people. And communication is very dynamic, because the way I will communicate with a highly educated, well-informed person is totally different from how I would, communicate with someone who is maybe a farmer or someone who has no formal education but is enlightened. And there's also the way I would communicate with a younger person, or Gen Z, so to speak. It's totally different from how I would communicate with a baby boomer or a Gen X person. So being able to understand how to communicate with various people is extremely important. And communication is something that kind of causes, or the lack of proper communication is something that often causes friction in medicine. And where you see people wanting to fight or to sue or to, sometimes people are troublesome, but most of the time it's because communication wasn't sufficient or wasn't optimal. And so we need to be able to acquire, some of the basic skills of learning how to talk to people. When you see someone, and that's one of the reasons why we learn about biodata. It's not just for fun, because when you want to collect someone and you take some basic data, it will kind of help you understand how to explain or communicate to that person. And also, we are no longer in the generation where doctors are seen as gods or demigods. No, everyone has a question for their doctor. And if we learn that formal way of communicating with people, we will run into trouble, because today your patient wants to know everything. They want you to explain. They need to understand why you're prescribing things. And you need to be able to communicate and not take offense when you're asked several questions, or even question your judgment, or even your professionalism, because people are bold like that these days. But you need to be able to respond to that with grace and professionalism, without saying, hey, if you like, don't, I'm a doctor, this is what I've told you to do. If you like, do something else. No, we need to be able to rise above the fact that, oh, yes, we are learned, and we've gone through years and years of training and school, and we've learned and we've studied the human body and the physiology and all the things we've gone through. We need to put that aside and look at it from the perspective of, how can I explain this in a way this person can understand? So communication is very important. Another thing that I think is so important is empathy. Empathy is so important. And empathy is being able to put yourself in the place of a person. And empathy is not just in medical, when you're treating a patient, it's in everyday life. When you're dealing with people who are running your business, when you're dealing with people who are contracted to do things for you, when you're going to the hair salon, everywhere you go, if you're able to remember empathy, it's very, very key. And sometimes when you're breaking news to a patient or counseling someone, you need to put yourself in that person's shoes and not be judgmental or not be cold. I have also seen doctors who are meant to be fantastic, world-renowned doctors. But when I spoke with them, the way they were able, they communicated with me, I didn't feel empathy. And I think sometimes it's always important that as doctors, we should be patient once in a while, so that we can be on the other side, and see, okay, what did this person do that I wouldn't want to do if I was the doctor, if I was the other way around? So you need to always be able to put yourself in the place of the person you are seeing, and be able to we're not meant to say sorry, so to speak, but you're meant to show that you understand the weight of this, and you're ready to walk with them through it and explain without just reeling off a diagnosis and making it seem very technical. And then the last thing I would say is resilience. You need to be able to be resilient to be in the medical profession, and not just in medicine, almost every aspect of life, because things will throw you here and there. The stress of school, the stress of even after school, looking for a specialty, doing exams, getting into, the placement you want, balancing work life with personal life, with financial life and everything. Sometimes it can become a lot. And you need to learn to be resilient, to be focused, so that you're not thrown off balance. So these are things that, like you said, we don't learn in medical school, but you learn in a way from studying your seniors, from having a mentor. And that's where mentorship is so important. Because when you look at someone that you like and you want to be like, you want to be able to achieve some of what this person, or you just like the way this person handles things, you draw close to them and learn. That's why a lot of medicine is actually apprenticeship. So you're kind of like being an apprentice under a person, not just learning the science and the medicine. You're learning how this person deals with day-to-day situations, how they're able to manage their work-life balance, how they're able to communicate with patients and everyone. And these three things are extremely important. So if you get the highest scores in your exams, whether it be, okay, now they don't do scores anymore for exams, it's either pass or fail. But even if you want to be a distinction candidate and you're not able to communicate properly, you don't show empathy to your patients, and you're not able to balance, things might not be as, you may not go as far as somebody who is not the top flyer, but is able to do all those three things. So those are three things I would speak about.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Communication, empathy, resilience. The last question for this phase will go to Dr. Gold, award-winning, best-selling author, Dr. Gold. Yeah, I said that. I said that. So your book talks about, shares, I think, 10 rules to navigating medical school and by extension, life as a young adult. For any young adult or medical student in this room who is failing, burning out, feeling less of themselves, and just feeling like they can no longer deal, what is that one rule? What is the first rule in your book that you can grab and say, take, this is for you to elevate and just to boost you?
You said one, Sha. It's like three. I cannot ask for more, Oliver Twist. Okay. But if you say that single one, and I left it for chapter 10. Chapter 10 says, easy does it. Easy does it, meaning that you have done everything. You have followed rule 1, and that's why I made it into 10 rules. Rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4, and then you get to the final point where you are about to give up. I promise you, for every story that you think that, oh my God, my own is finished, I'm the worst, you would hear some people's stories and you'd be like, I'm throwing a salute to you. Easy does it. And by that, I mean that I've been talking about social capital since. Do you know what it takes to bring the people that I have on stage here? And I told them in less than a month, and everybody is here to honor me. I have my teachers, they are here. Do you know what it means? I have my godmother, she flew in from Abuja just because of me. She's right there, and she didn't come alone. She came with an entourage of my aunties, everybody. Do you know what it means? If I don't tell you anything in this life, please develop your social capital. The person who is surrounded by abundance of quality people is the person that is truly wealthy. I promise you, I do not, Shingbai, I don't have in the bank. You might not believe me because I am, looking all dolled up and all that. I don't have a lot of money, but I have the things money cannot buy. And in your quest to find the things money can buy, do not forget the things money cannot buy along the way. I like people when they say, oh, I have the car, I have this, I have that. It's going to be a very sad, lonely life. If you have all of these things, can you imagine? To be honest, see, my husband is right there. Sometimes I'm like, TJ, but I cannot imagine my life without my spouse and my amazing children. I cannot imagine my life without my mom. Anyone that knows Shaki knows Shaki's mom. See, it's a Yoruba adage that says, where the snail draws, the shell follows. You cannot know Shaki without knowing my mom. And it's because of my story. I lost my father quite early. And my mom, I have to tell you, when we were growing up, I promise you, I didn't like her. My mom will come on visiting day. You have Introtech exam tomorrow. You don't know the answer. Pow, pow. That's like 2 slaps. And I'm like, why? Why do you have to slap me? Like, just let my dad come. Because when daddy comes, all he says is that, Ajoke, a lolo need. He doesn't come with the food, but he just says a lolo need, which means how much do you need? And then the money. And the funny thing is that my dad will be like, I don't have money. It's your mom that has the money. Like, but who cares? You get what I'm saying? He was one of those old school men that acknowledged that he probably didn't have a lot. My mom had more money, but he'd be like, Abeke, whatever you have is my own. And then he comes on visiting days. My dad will sit down and teach my classmates geography. So I had a dad, and I think one of my greatest blessings in life, I say it all the time, I have the things that money cannot buy. And if I already have it, sometimes when I'm telling mommy, what is me? As in, money, I need to drive this car. I need to buy this house. Mommy will say, Shaki. And when my mom starts to do Sha, I'm like, mommy, say what you want to say. Don't do Sha. Don't draw it too long. She'll not be like, Shaki, hey, don't offend God, oh. God has blessed you. The only thing that is missing is the money. I'm like, that's the only thing now. Mommy said, the only thing that is missing when it comes, people don't even know when you have it anymore because you already have all the things that money cannot buy. And I can confidently say today, guys, have your friends. Oh, I will say it again and again, especially when it comes to time to developing your romantic relationships and all that. You're going to have a boyfriend, girlfriend. Better have your girls if you are the females and have your guys that you can run to, because there will come a time during that romantic relationship that you'll be like, oh, man, you complain to your girls and they are there for you. And that's why you also have to have a good head on your shoulders to pick the right kind of friends. See, when you see me amongst my friends, I will wear the hijab, and then my friends are coming. Someone might have blue hair, green hair, yellow hair, and they're right here. One might, the sides of the head, they're all there. I have all the kind of friends, but they are, see, in their own right, I don't have any friends. They are all CEOs, lawyers, happily married women, amazing women. When they are calling on the Lord for you like this, you'll be like, I thought people with blue hair don't call the Lord. They have tattoos, and I'm telling you, in front of the church, they are the ones volunteering. So I'm trying to tell you, pick your friends carefully, because the time you need them to come through for you, and I have been there. And so forget all this, when you are burning out, you will continue to burn out. Because I still experienced burnout recently. Doing residency in America, when you are like this age now, I had, the way I used to do life normally, I'll be like, my residents will be like, what time is the round, ma? And I'll be like, I'll be there at 10. Then I'll be like, okay, I'm running late, 10:30. They don't burn me well. 6:30 a.m. I'm at ICU if I have a 12-hour shift. So what I'm trying to say, when Shade calls me sometimes and she's like, Shaki Bolu, Shade, mo I see you, I'll pay later. And like I told you, adaptability and flexibility is the strongest skill that will carry you through all the tides. I am back in Nigeria now. I have won the cloak of the consultant dermatologist back. When I go back to America, I will drop it there. And I am the third-year resident. So all I'll tell you, if you are burning out, easy does it. Your story is not the worst. And if your behavior, like they say on the streets, you have bad behavior if you don't have any good friend, though. And it's the truth. If you don't have anybody, this event costs a lot of money, I promise you. And not 1 naira of my money is in this thing. Because show me your friends. Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my squad? So when you are burning out, have people you can talk to and be like, Shadi, no, I'm telling you, these are conversations that we have. And Shadi will be like, Shaki, Mama, sorry. Which means that Shaki, don't let your head go crazy. Go pour some cold water on your head. And sometimes she calls me, you can do it now. You have always done it. I believe in you. Have your cheerleaders. This morning, my friend, one of my closest friends, is getting married tomorrow. I'm going to be an old bridesmaid tomorrow. And all of them, despite the fact that we have a wedding, they are all here cheering me on. They don't have to be here. One of them is here from Abuja. Another person is here. She just flew in. So they are all here. Have people, please. And that's all I'm going to tell you. When you have people, you will never walk alone. Thank you.
She really talked about her whole book. Our chairperson is about to leave. Please, can we celebrate Dr. Alimi? Sir, I know you want to leave, but just a parting word. There's something about this, our generation and your generation, that seems like there is a disparity. And you've lived all through. What's that advice you would give to us, the younger ones, that can help us in life?
Well, my parting gift to you all is for you all to work hard, be prayerful, and persevere. Perseverance is the key to success. And may Lord bless you all, and may Allah continue to bless you, and may you all achieve your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now take a picture. Dr. Limisa will take a picture. The chairman, Bridge House College, a lawyer of great repute, executive director of First Bank Holdings, We thank all our amazing panelists for such a beautiful session. Pictures, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. We'll now take questions. We've been speaking a lot from this side. We'll now take questions from, please, where's the second mic? Okay, can I have the second mic? Thank you. So we'll now take questions from, I'm sure a few of us would have questions. So please, can one of the ushers help me with the microphone, please? Divine, are you busy? Divine. I need one of the ushers to come help with the microphone. Okay. Oh, Tenny, the host. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host is here. Medical school happened. Please, can we celebrate Teniola? She was supposed to co-host with me, but medical school happened. Exams, and how did it go? Hope it went well. Amazing. So we're going to take questions. You want to say something to the people before we... Okay. So if you have questions, please just indicate and the mic would come to you. If you want to direct it to anybody, please feel free. Okay.
Does anyone have questions?
Okay. So you tell us your name, tell us your level and your school, and then you ask your question if you're directing it to anyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name, I'm David. It's 100 level pharmacology student, Lagos State University College of Medicine. So my question, on more than one occasion, the panelists have mentioned mentor. And then if you should look at it, there's no, should I say, there's no kind of bridge between the higher up, let me use the word, and then the students. You know, for my sets, the current 100 level pharmacology student, I think as seniors, they tried doing something. They tried assigning mentor, like as seniors, the now 300 level pharmacology student, they try assigning mentor, and then somehow, yeah, even though they assigned the mentor, I can say, even till now, I've not seen myself to say mentor. So what I'm just trying to say is this, is there a way to, yes, there are a lot of us, we want mentor. It's not like we all want mentor, but there's no, should I say, kind of bridge between the mentor and then the mentee. Thank you.
Okay, Tenny, do we want to take all the questions or do we want to answer? Okay, let's take it all. So,
okay, just take notes.
Yeah. So please, did we get the first question? Okay.
So my name is Onyinye Odimegu. I'm a 600 level student of medicine and surgery, College of Medicine, University of Lagos. So my question is basically, how do you keep on being motivated in the medical field, from being a student to being a house officer, being a resident? What motivates you to keep doing more? Because there are a lot of things that need to be done that I feel like there are things that I did in 600 level that I felt like, okay, I could have started in 300 level, like research, but maybe the motivation wasn't there yet. So how do you start building that motivation so that I don't get to a certain point later in life that I could have started doing something now, or I could start doing it in house job, but because I didn't feel motivated to do it, I didn't get to that point yet.
Okay. Any more questions?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Radia Mohammed. I'm a 200 level medicine and surgery student of the College of Medicine, University of Lagos. I've not resumed yet. I'll be resuming by January. And yes, I'm just about to start. I already did my 100 level in Unilag, but I'm very sure it's going to be quite different. So my question is, what is that one advice you can give to somebody that's just about to start? Thank you.
There's a
Are there
question.
any other questions?
There's a question. There's a question over there. So probably just share the questions across.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adeniji Feshola, a 300 level student, radiography student at the University of Lagos. I wanted to ask that we all know in Nigeria that CGPA is good, but not enough. I want to ask, how else do you think we can boost our CV, like boost our experiences as students? Because if you go, they will tell you you have to have 2 years experience. How do we get 2 years experience if nobody is willing to employ us? Like, how do we also build connections? How do we go about research? All those type of things, putting ourselves out there. How do we go about it?
Great. Any more questions? No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Our consultant, Ma, you want to say something or you want to ask a question? Let's have her speak then.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I'm going to spin it the other way, and I have a question for the people on this side. You know, everything that has been said here is really very relevant. But then, you know, this generation also need to, as much as you're saying our generation need to do this, need to accommodate, this generation also need to look at things differently. You come into the clinic. It could be a private clinic, could be Luth. You have a limited amount of time. You're trying to explain something, but I don't want this, but I do this, but I do this, but I do that. Because it's the generation that they are. All they do is question. They also have, so, you know, we need to look at it from both sides because you get what you deserve, both ways. You give empathy, as Dr. Gold has said, you will receive empathy in return. And anyway, even if you don't, somebody up there will reward you as you so fit into the category. So as we are speaking about it all, it's also for everybody to also look inside. You would have something and you come somewhere and there's only a limited amount of time. But during that limited amount of time, there's even a way you can speak. And I'm speaking as a parent too, because I'm forever, you know, having it tough with my children because the generation now is self-entitled. They're too impatient for anything. So do you understand? So you want everything, yet, but you're at a specialist, and it doesn't have to be the doctors. It could be in the law firm. It could be anywhere. But the generation now wants questions, wants answers. But I also think they're also not going about it the right way because that thing that you're holding is not the answer. Google is not a doctor. Google is just a form of information for anything, you know, TikTok, all of that. So I also want us to spin it the other way and have the conversation, you know, floating that way as we discuss, because it is very important.
Thank you, Ma. So you're saying, as we're speaking and asking them for answers, they can also make sure that we're also looking, okay, also address it from this side too. All right. Thank you, Ma.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wuraola, and I'm a new 400 level student. So I just finished my pre-clinicals today. And so my
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. So my question is, I think my 100 level, 200 level, and 300 level, all I wanted to do was like to survive pre-clinicals. And so coming into 400 level, which is the clinical year, I do not want to repeat that same survival thing only. So what are the things what things am I supposed to do to be able to apply myself diligently to the demands of medical school so that when I'm done as a medical doctor, I'm not entering as someone who is starting life again, or I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But yes, that's the question. Like, thank you.
So I think we have 5 questions that can be distributed.
Someone else has a question. So do we take the first 5, then come back so we don't
Okay,
get...
so we don't forget.
Yes.
Do you want to speak? You want to share your observation now before we answer? Or let them answer? Okay. So 5 questions that will be shared across.
And I can try to run through it a bit if you would like that. Okay, you've written it. Okay. If there's any left.
Thank you all very much for your
back and forth. I think I just wanted to say the last question about what's the one thing that we need to do? What's the one thing? Somebody asked that. The one advice to the incoming medical students, yes, you asked. I think just go buy MediThrive. That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Read. So buy and read MediThrive. I promise you there's a lot. And you don't necessarily have to be talking medical school for life. So people are talking about different experiences. And I know that, I think Dr. Gold had mentioned that this is not a generation that reads. I think it's unfair to generalize like so, because yes, some people definitely do read. And it's an easy book, but you read it once, read it again, read it like the way Dr. Popola says she reads to pass exams. You will definitely find a pearl or two. But I really want to address the question about the young gentleman who talked about how to find a mentor. It's interesting that in your time, you are actually being assigned formal mentors. Back in the days, there wasn't anything like that. So that tells you that the world is changing, and thinking of the younger people, again, learning from where we were. We didn't have formal mentors assigned to a set of people. And what is happening is almost age-old. Dr. Cole and Dr. Aproko Doctor were just saying that eventually you will learn the hard way. Because sometimes some things are given to you until you've gone past, you don't realize that that was actually a gem, a pearl, a huge gift, a piece of gold or a diamond, as it may be. So the fact that you have been given a formal mentor may or may not like who it is in terms of you don't really connect. You don't necessarily have to be chummy, kissing cousins, no. But there will be one or two or three things that you can take from such a person. And you can actually have an informal mentor. There are many mentors that don't know that they are mentoring people. There are many mentees that don't even realize that their so-called mentors are learning from them as well. Dr. Gold calls me her MM. She's not here. MM is short for mini mentor because we both have a true mentor, Professor Adebola Ogunbi of UCH. We kind of like connect with. So she's my M. She says I'm her MM because we have an M, as it were. We've gone past where it is now bi-directional. I get from her, she gets from me, and back and forth. And that's what I would say to you, that yes, take advantage of that formal mentor by communicating. Dr. Adeife talked a lot about communication. There's a right time to say certain things. I won't mention names, but I have people here. I have some of my mentees who were already calling me their mentor before approaching me formally to say, I don't know, can you be my mentor? I said, I thought I was already mentoring you, as it were. Do you understand? I have those who, by virtue of the fact that they reach out after the class, they're staying back to want to talk to me or something. And every now and then they're taking little pearls. They're asking you. So you're already doing it. And if you check yourself, you are mentoring some people. You will find that there are some people who are asking you a question or two, who are asking you, how did you do this? It's not necessarily it's a soft skill, in fact. It's a soft skill. The ability to reach out, to be easily reachable. Some people are approachable, some people are not. Some people are actually mentoring by teaching 1, 2, 3 for didactic ways. Some people are doing it just by seeing how Dr. Pokola was telling me how they looked at me and they're like, so you can have brain in medicine and be funky. I didn't realize that's what they used to look at the shoes that maybe are wearing. There's just many, many little things that just come about in your day-to-day life. But the point is, you have to be deliberate about what it is that you are looking for. And if you see somebody who really embodies or personifies what you think you're looking for, nothing stops you from approaching such a person. Nothing stops you from reaching out to say, you don't even have to use the word mentoring if it is too formal or too serious a word. You can just say, I think I like the way you said something. How do I go about doing this? So you can reach out. But because you have even been given a formal mentor, take advantage of that. And you'll be shocked that that mentor is waiting for somebody to approach, because their mentors does not mean that they know everything. They might be just be waiting for somebody to reach out to them. And then that's the door that has been opened. I don't know if that helps. Yeah, young man. Thank you. I would let others answer.
I think you've answered 2 of the questions already. So.
Yes, I couldn't remember most of the question, but I remember the young lady over here speaking about how do you get involved in things as
Yeah.
early as possible? And, what are the things? And I think in medicine is highly competitive. It's less competitive, I would say, in this part of the world. You can still get into medicine, without being highly competitive. But in some parts of the world, it's extremely competitive. And I think even here, to be able to achieve as much as you would want to, you have to have a bit of that competitive spirit. And it also helps to have friends across the globe. And the world is a global village today. So even if you're in Nigeria, you can have a friend via social media or a connection in India or in the United States or in South America, and compare what do you guys do in your medical school. Sometimes learning from other people kind of helps you to have more of a perspective from an early age. For us here, we have a different system from the US. I work with a lot of medical students that they have, they do a 4-year course before they go to medical school. So they're a little bit more advanced. And then they are coming to you like, we want to write papers with you. We want to do research. They already have a mind, like from their first year in medical school, that they want to go into dermatology. And so in year 1, they're already reaching out to you to say, do you have any research you are doing? Can I help you to do that? And they kind of have that direction. So if you're in medicine, and medicine is global, a lot of people here are probably going to end up in Australia or somewhere across the world. Wherever you find yourself, you want to make sure that you have as much as you can. So what I would say is have peers from across the world. That makes you like a global citizen. And it also gives you a wider perspective of what you can do in medicine and even outside of medicine. Research is very important. Somebody mentioned CGPA, and yes, here I think they are phasing it out, the negative marking. But negative marking over the years has affected our CGPA as medical students. So by the time you are doing your transcript, they are looking at it, I'm like, which kind of score be this 60, 70? So it's not competitive. But what you can use to bump that up is research. Research is widely respected. So if you do get involved in research and your name is on publications from an early stage, it helps when you are applying for scholarships or you're applying for positions. Research is in. And then the second thing is volunteering. To get experience, you need to volunteer. And there are many opportunities. The first thing is not money. Experience, usually the easiest way to get experience is to start by volunteering. If you're a female, join M1. Be a part of M1, Medical Women's Association of Nigeria. They have a program for medical students. And so you're able to participate in research, in workshops and things with M1. There's also the Medical Association, the National for Medical Students, NIMSA. Get involved in NIMSA. Be involved in outreaches. Volunteering is highly respected outside of Nigeria. If you have on your CV experience with volunteering with various projects, it counts as much as a paid job. So if you want to get the experience from an early stage, get involved in research and do a lot of volunteering with medical. Money will follow those things. If you are looking for paid opportunities first, you will lose a lot of opportunities. Even NGOs, once you're straight out of house job, or even before you start house job, go ahead and volunteer with NGOs. Look for well-respected NGOs across the world. Get involved in UN-based NGOs and projects they are doing. They often like to carry medical students along with their project. So UNFPA, WHO, UNESCO, UNICEF. Look for projects they are doing in your locale and volunteer to be part of those projects. They are more likely to employ you in the future when you've worked with them as a student and you've volunteered with them as a student. So those are some of the things I can use to boost your CV
That's why MMM schemes are very popular. But when you tell people, drop 5,000 every day, or every week, or every month, just continually do it, whether you feel like it, whether you don't feel like it, and you're going to be a dollar millionaire in about 20, 30 years, forgive my math, a lot of people will not do that. Is it easier to do the 5K? Yes. Is it very difficult for you to? So you need to understand that consistency is very important. Very important. Just keep doing, no matter how you feel. Another thing that also helps motivation is there's a particular saying, if you want to go far, go with other people. If you want to go fast, go alone. You need to understand that community is actually one of the most important metrics for success, because there are times when you are tired, but your community is able to at least fill in the places where you don't have strengths. But then again, we're also dealing with a lot of young people who cut off relationships as easily as this. You also need to understand that the price for community is annoyance. If I am friends with 10 people, the 10 people are not perfect. They have even me too, plus me. We all have our different ways where we're not perfect, where I'm annoying you, you are annoying me. And every day you have to sit down and ask yourself, is this annoyance grounds enough to cancel this or lose this relationship? Are there certain reasons why you should cut off relationships? For me, it's betrayal. But I don't think that annoyance, because annoyance will always happen. But then you have people, oh, you don't have long-standing friends. You have people that, you know, just, oh, I called you and then you came late, and that's it, bam. You now say, I don't really stand people who don't respect time. Yes, there are people who, that's just who they are. But you need to understand that the price for community is annoyance. If you want to build a community, you are going to be annoyed with people. So motivation, consistency. Secondly, build your community. Build your community. Find your own tribe. Find your people you can be vulnerable with. And you need to have them at different levels. There are people that you as a person would necessarily need to pour into. So at every level, you are a mentor. I don't want you to have what you call imposter syndrome. Oh, have I learned enough to be able to pour? No, at every level, you've learned something that somebody who is coming behind you wants to learn that. You can give them. The more you give, the better you become as a person. You need peers. You need people where you're constantly helping each other. You're growing, because there is power in loud voices. And then you now need people to continually pour into you. But usually, even when it comes to mentorship, I feel like a lot of people have it wrong, sort of. When people come to gatherings like this, especially when we are coming from different localities and different experiences, and we say network, a lot of people just run to the front. No. Even around you, there are people who share similar experiences, similar struggles. There's somebody who has solved that problem that you're trying to solve. The more you network sideways, the louder your voice to be able to attract the attention of, quote and unquote, the people who are in front. So I hope this helps. Thank you.
Absolutely helps. Absolutely helps. Dr. Ojo.
Thank you very much. I want to respond to how to build your CV. Dr. Cole had already spoke a lot, he had already said so much about how to build your CV. But one thing is very important. You must make sure that you always document whatever you do. Because sometimes, you have done so many things. 2 years down the line, you can't even remember what you have done. Okay, so you must have a template whereby you're able to document, so that when you need it, you don't wait until 5 years when you want to apply for a job that you now want to start remembering what you did 5 years ago, what you did 4 years ago. You may not be able to remember all. You must have a template. If you have gone for a training, document it. If you have volunteered somewhere, document it. If you have helped someone, document it. If you have helped to gather data for someone, document it. All these things will count later before you know what's happening. You do a lot, but I think the major problem is that oftentimes we don't document what we do, and you just feel like you have not done anything. So very, very important. The other question is, I would like to respond to is how to deal with the mentor that is not responding. I don't want to use the word responsive. Okay, so the first thing is for that communication to be well established. You know, Professor Trofanoe mentioned that, you know, subconsciously you mentor some people, you know, even without you knowing. So that communication must be established. You know, let the mentor be aware that he or she is actually mentoring you. And, you know, mentorship or mentoring should actually be strategic. You know, it should be well structured. Do I want to see my mentor 3 times a year? Do I want to see my mentor 4 times a year? So it is important that you structure it so that if I'm going to see you in the next 3 months, I'm already, you know, planning towards it. I know what I'm expecting, and you are also working. And you also have to be aware that you have to do more work. Your mentor has a lot on his or template. You know, there is a lot. You know, it's just like a consultant, the relationship between the consultant and the resident. You know, it's not the consultant that will be looking for the resident. It has to be the other way around for the project. So you must realize that most times you have to be the one to do the assignment and, you know, prompt your mentor that, okay, we have to meet at some point in time. And with that, I think things will get better. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I think we have 2 questions.
Yes.
You want to go first,
Okay,
ladies first?
take it from here. Okay, so this question is from a lady. She said, as a pharmacology student in my 2nd year, I'm thinking of taking a 2nd degree in medicine and surgery, neurosurgery specialty, as it was my first choice. Is it advisable to do it as a female based on the society, based on societal views on females' timelines for education?
I think you're the best person to answer this. Ma, you are the best person to answer this. Because you will tell it as it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You did not do well. You're wrong, George. You gave the right answer.
Tell it that.
Okay, so just to be clear, the person has an interest in neurosurgery.
Yes, but she's currently studying pharmacology as a 2nd year student. Yes.
So she wants to go back to medicine.
Yes.
Because of neurosurgery. I want to just be clear.
She wants to study medicine and surgery.
She wants to study medicine.
Yes.
So let's not jump to neurosurgery now. I mean,
she added the.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's very important. She wanted to be
easy
specific.
does it too in this life. Just be taking it easy.
Yeah.
Neurosurgery. Just like that. Be calming down. You see, it's one step after the other. Like I said before, no pressure. You as a human being, is that what you want?
Seems as such, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not even talking about the neurosurgery aspiration, you know, I'm talking about just in life. Okay, so you want to study medicine, great. But I mean, there's so many students here, and if we pick on each and every one, they will tell you the things they are going through, because we too went through those things.
Yeah.
And there were times when we were like, who sent me? Who sent me this medicine? You know, you will go through it. And even going through medical school alone, it's a lot. You know, when say somebody is going through a lot and then somebody who is coming from a lot, it's just a lot.
Together.
And yes, and it's important to take it easy. One step at a time. If you truly want to be, you know, you have this aspiration for this, go for it. You know, no matter how much you wish, you're still going to go. It's 24 hours that will pass in a day before the next day comes, right? Okay, so take it easy, have a plan, and work towards your plan. Just like they said, the 1 naira that adds to 1 naira to adds to 1 naira will still become the 1 million. There's no fast route, there's no easy way, there's no shortcuts. Life will life. And you know, your life will beat your butt It is just life. But you will get up again, you will fall down. Get up again. Fall down, get up again. So there's no magic motivation. There's nothing. See, your mentor is going through their own. There's a medical thing, yeah, but they're going through life. They're going through stuff in their homes. They're going through their own mental issues. Their mom is having some brother, look. Funny enough, this thing about mentorship, I never saw it as mentorship. First of all, have sense. Let's start with that, okay? As a human being, when your parents teach you, you reteach yourself. Yorubas will say, "Oman konyon," meaning you've been trained a certain way to behave. You too, you look at society and say, okay, I can still do better. Show respect. Show just don't be entitled. Who's dashing you? No, you have access to people. That's what it is. And that's the same thing we're seeing here with Shaki, is that she has grown. She's a sensible human being, right? Who has friends, who has family. There are people that have family or that are from good families and mess it up. You can have it. You can have a father who's the richest man on earth and you don't have a relationship with him. You see gold and you don't even know that it is gold. You don't cherish what you have. It's the same, it's just life. So it's not a special thing to medical school or anything. When you meet people, Dr. Otrofanoy was saying, she was the first, because I started with dermatology as a resident because that's what I thought I wanted to do for the vanity of it, actually. When I started seeing the leprosy, I said, it's not really. But she was one of the first residents, Dr. Orolu, they were preparing for their part 1. And so we just started now. Me, very eager. I'm the kind of person that I want to start something. I'm not playing around. So, okay, so how do we do this thing? Okay, I'm watching them. They were reading, like this was part 1 now. So it was also a good time to, just see what they were doing. And it wasn't a child's play, right? But we became friends. She's much older than I am, right? But we would talk about different things, life, just be. And then you are doing calls and you are active. You are not on call and then they are looking for you, there's still 2 patients in the A&E. You've gone to see them. You yourself, you are presenting. You have one of the, okay, so because you would have things to present in each unit. Show yourself to be diligent. Show yourself to be useful. Show yourself to be hardworking. I don't know where people get the idea that things will just fall into their laps. It's not happening. It's not, even in your dreams, it's not happening. Wake up, smell the coffee. You're going to work let me not use you will walk. You see, people are, you see people driving nice cars and doing nice things, and you think, oh yeah, I want to be like that. You just go meet them. Hey, mentor. Hey, mentor. How do we get some cash like you? Like, you don't even know what's going on. See, even my father. Yeah, my father, who I have access to, like full access, right? Before he would loan me the money, loan, to say, yeah, add it to what you need for, it's because he has seen that Sade will return his money. Yeah. And I'll be happy and proud to be part of her story. And so I must not mess up, right? Yes. I must return every month. And I'm also happy to do that because those if I was facing the banks and 36% interest, then I will know how nice it is, right? I'm getting something interest-free and I'm still taking it for granted. See, that's my own father. He could give it to me. He could give me the money, but I don't have any rights to anybody's money, not even my father's money. Yeah. You will work for it. So people should not deceive themselves. And that's what Dr. Akinkugbe was trying to say, like, okay, you guys are here, you're trying to, we're trying to teach you, you are even proving difficult. So look, it is life. In life, just realize there's no free meal anywhere. But you see, the relationships you build, if you can just be sensible enough to keep it up, just be a good person, be there, show yourself to be a good person. You don't have to get 80%, 90%. I mean, I never used to bother about those kind of things. What do I need to pass? 50. I will get 50 now. No, 50 cannot be hard to get. Maybe it's 50. You won't target 50, but I mean, you will pass because you are not jumping around the whole place, not studying, not revising, not making your jottings, and you will. As you go through it, you're learning. It's just the same way when, medical students come and bring their logbook to sign, and you see people hiding behind each other. This one was not there, and he wasn't there, but he wants to sign. So I'm like, who are you deceiving? Even if I sign for you, you have not learned anything. It will show that you have not been what? Coming. So when you come for the exams, they will say you have not been coming. It's the same way in life. If you've not been showing up every day and doing what you're supposed to do, it will show, So I think that's just the simple truth about it.
Thank you
very much.
And just to also add that the expectation, societal expectation of women, because in that question,
that was the specific she wanted to touch on.
That societal expectation affect her from studying the medicine.
I think the simple thing is no. There is nothing that stops you from doing what it is you want to do. What Dr. Popola has been saying is take it easy on yourself. I will say be kind to yourself because you can do everything, and not just that Bible passage of I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. No, it's actually still a mind thing, mind over matter. So nothing stops you from reading the pharmacology, finishing it up. You will be shocked that if you don't immerse yourself in your pharmacology whilst you are doing it because you are looking towards doing the medicine, you will miss out all that pharmacology actually has to offer. But if you were there, if you put yourself in, if you're completely immersed in it, you might realize that actually I don't even need to go to medicine again because I can do a lot more. It's a degree, but it's a degree that can afford you so many, many more things. But the point to thinking in a limited fashion, i.e., I want to do medicine and surgery, and particularly neurosurgery, for whatever reason, should I not? It's completely up to you, and nothing stops you from doing it. Nothing stops you from doing it. But pace yourself and enjoy each experience you are at the time you are in it. Stop looking so much. There's nothing from you. Yes, by all means, plan to the future, plan and say, this is my goal and go, but not in the typical Nigerian way of acquiring certificates and degrees and not doing. You have people doing from one master to another one. I'm like, you're a master of the classroom. You're not a master of anything. Yes. Why would you finish one degree? You didn't even practice it. You didn't even experience it, even if not. And then the next thing you want to go do masters. Then before that one, you want to go and do another master. What are you mastering? The teacher's voice? I don't get it. Or your laptop. What are you mastering? Do you understand? So it's not about acquisition. It's a typical Nigerian phenomena where you want all the letters of the alphabet behind your name. To what purpose? What have you added to society? Who has benefited from the schools or the learning or the education that you may have acquired with all your money or with scholarships or whatever? So by all means, do pharmacology. We need a lot of them. Get the experience, hopefully use it, and go to MBBS if you want to. Nothing stops you. By all means, go to neurosurgery. 70 years old, you can still be studying, no problem.
Okay.
Sorry, I just want to add something to reiterate what our dear Dr. Shakirat Gold-Olufadi has been saying. If you want to do neurosurgery after pharmacology, you need social capital. You need to have a support system. If that is your goal, if after you finish and you say, oh, that's what I want to do, you have to have an understanding spouse when you get married, somebody that will be willing to allow you to do that. You have to have people that can help with kids, because as a woman, you have kids by God's grace, if that's your wish. You have to have people that you can leave your kids with, that you can be able to. So if you know that your goal is to aspire further, then when you are choosing, choose the right people. Don't choose somebody because, oh, they are handsome or fine. Will this person allow me? That one will be there. But will this person allow me or will be happy with me taking a second degree? Will it support me? And then also my family. Do I have a sister, a mom that can help with my kids? Because nannies, it's not easy. So you have to consider all those things and plan very well. If it's your goal, it's achievable. But you cannot do it without the right people and the right social capital that we're talking about today.
Amazing. We just have a final question. I'm informed, last to come, you want to leave. After this question, we are done, and we'll wrap up. We just had the first female urologist in Nigeria step in, Dr. Abimbola Abolariwa. Please let's celebrate her. The first female urologist. Man, please stand. Let's see. Let's aspire. Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. She was also one of the contributors to the book. She wrote a chapter. She wrote a chapter in the book. Final question, and we are done. And this one, you either answer or Dr. Ochofonowe. I'm a non-medical professional, but I have a soft spot for doctors and healthcare professionals. But these days, you see people drifting away from the medical profession, cutting edges in other things. Don't you think it has some effect on the younger ones in medical school? Dr. Gold.
That question is pregnant too, but because we've been saying it. Honestly, there's nobody in this stage that is a medical doctor now that you will not see that, like I said about myself, I got into medicine from, she's so brilliant, medicine or engineering or law. You guys knew that for our parents then, there were only 3 professions. You are not a doctor, you are a lawyer. You are not a lawyer, you are an engineer. And that's why the firstborn in my family, which is me, is a doctor. The secondborn is an engineer. And the thirdborn is a lawyer. Please give a round of applause for Alaja Gold. No, but seriously, there is nothing wrong with medical. And I think we need to understand and look at medical professionals that they are first human before any other thing. So there is nothing wrong with having other interests apart from medicine. Don't look at them, you know the way they say on the timeline, how do people say it on social media, that these doctors are to be honest with you, actually a lot of doctors do a lot of cho nowadays. You guys talk too much, my God. But there is nothing wrong with doctors having other interests. Look at them as human first. Because do you want them to explode? Like, can you imagine doing medicine alone? I will go crazy. I'm telling you. Medicine is so, do you know how many times I've had to cry for losing my patients? You don't see the silent tears. You don't see the pain that we go through. I will never forget the last patient I lost before leaving Nigeria was my lupus patients. And those are the ones we usually have issues with in dermatology. Dermatology, we don't lose patients. And I'm proud to say, everywhere I go, even in America, I carry Nigeria with me. In America, when I'm on the rounds, you know what they say? They say, I look forward to saying Shaki because Shaki is the most, see, hands down, nobody can take it from me. I'm the most fashionable person in my hospital. No, seriously. And they now made me chief president again, even though at some point I told them I wanted to step down, and I did step down. Not because there was anything wrong, but because for me, see, I'm old. Forget all this chief president thing that I cannot be running around. Yeah. See, I was thinking of my children, and I'm like, please, guys, take your chief president because I don't know how to do things halfway. I must always do it 100%. So in trying to give 100%, I realized that my time with my family was suffering a little bit. So all I'm trying to say is that you can be anything you want to be as a doctor, as long as your primary responsibility to your patients, you are not failing at it. So let me use myself as an example. And see, I think I'm getting past the age. I used to be, I'm still very humble. If you know me, you will know that humility is my middle name. But my friends here call me double doctor. There's a reason why they call me double doctor. And that's because, you know, I know small book a little bit. So, you know, that kind of thing. But what I'm trying to say is that you can be anything you want to be, as long as I am not failing at my primary responsibility of being a doctor. When Dr. Alimi mentioned it, if he has any issues, he calls me first. All the doctors in America will tell him everything. He'll be like, doctor, this is what they said, which means that he's waiting for me. And I promise you, Dr. Alimi has gotten on a flight before because, no, he was about to go on a flight. He was coming to Nigeria and I saw his result. I said, don't get on that flight. and he canceled his flight because of me. So what I'm trying to say is that I am excellent at what I do. At every point in time, till now, I have dermatology patients lined up that are saying, if I don't see Dr. Go, and they know George manages my social media. I don't open DMs. If you send me a DM, I'm sorry, you're talking to George, not me, because I don't have that kind of energy. Or Joshua. Joshua is actually my virtual assistant. So you can do everything excellently. And that's why when Shadi and I, when we are going for a party, we are the life of the party. Ask my mama here. When they say, and they'll play music here, I'm always the first in the, short people can really dance very well. I'm very close to gravity. So I'm the first there that will be dancing. So whatever you do, like they say in the holy books, do it well. So the medical thing, and so don't think that doctors don't know what they are doing anymore by doing so many other things. And that's why I brought a lot of doctors here. Nonso is doing health education. The average market woman, even though I am the consultant, will say, did the Proco doctor say it? If he did not say it, they will not listen. Who are you? What consultants? So the average market woman is going to listen to Nonso, not me. And so Nonso is filling a gap. The average person sees Nonso on WhatsApp and they're like, somebody was arguing with me one day. And I told Nonso tweeted about it. And the only reason why he didn't mention my name was because he knows I wouldn't want him to mention my name. Nonso said, my mentor is in America listening to the radio right now. I swear to God, I was in the car. The person had Nonso on his dashboard driving me. And I'm like, what? Can you put off this something? And it's like, yes. Can you hear what he's saying? He said we should do this. And I'm like, what? Come on, put off this thing. So I told him that, look at our dream. We have gone global. And because he's here, I'm not lying, I will say it. My husband is here. I'm one of those people that when I dream about something, I had to call him that day. I said, I saw you on CNN. I saw you on a big stage. And this was a time when he probably didn't know it. And he's only just beginning. To be honest, Nonso is the biggest health influencer in Nigeria. That is the path he has in Africa. Because whoever is the biggest health influencer in Nigeria is the biggest health influencer in Africa, because we know we have the numbers. So to bring Nonso to an event, I remember that the Association of Nigerian Physicians in the Americas reached out to me at beg, help us to plead with your brother to collect this amount. And that amount, if you give me half of that amount, I'll be like, I will come, I'll be there, and I'll be emceeing the show. They pleaded with me to tell him to please honor them to come. But don't think he got there by accident. He has paid his dues. Dr. Otrofanowe, same thing. When I first came to Luth, I knew I wanted to do dermatology. The only thing is that you don't know my mentor. I call her my MM, and I call her mini mentor, not because she's mini, but because we have a big mentor. We call her BM. There's nobody that does. In dermatology, you can't not know Professor Adebola Ogunbiyi. So Faith, I knew I wanted to be a dermatologist. And then they posted me. And back to the holy books again. I'll always take you back there. As a man speaketh, whatever you want, say it to God. Tell God, this is what I want. But I promise you, if you like, have your praying mat, pray 20 times a day, and you don't put the effort, you will never get it. God is not a God of deception. Even in Yahoo, you have to put the effort. Yeah, God, please bless the Yahoo. Whoever I'm going to scam today, let them agree to the scamming. That's the truth. So even in bad things. So these are things that you don't want anybody to know that you are doing it. So whatever you don't want people to know that you are doing, then it's bad. So anybody that is sitting here, they did not get there by accident. When I saw Dr. Otrofanowe, I told myself, I said, Professor Ogunbiyi, I've seen somebody. That's who I want to be like in them. She's very spray. She now said, what do you mean by spray? Shaki, you started. I said, when you meet her, you will see what I'm talking about. And by the time she saw, do you know this woman has a child in 3rd year of medical school? Don't think she's a young woman, no. She's like 50. Sorry. In normal Yoruba culture, I'll kneel down to greet Dr. Otrofanowe because she's about almost 10 years older than me. So what I'm just trying to say is that nobody got here by accident. Commitment, consistency, dedication. Whatever you want to be, the universe is going to give it to you as long as you keep putting in the effort. God bless you.
Thank you. That was very profound. Dr. Otrofanowe, 1 minute, just 1 minute, and we wrap up. 1 minute, please.
So I'm just going to take the other part that the question was about. I think what she was trying to say is that, so who is doctoring?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, the younger ones.
Yes, the younger ones, they want them,
push
when
their
they be
side.
pushed aside.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm hoping that we haven't given the wrong opinion or the wrong impression that because you can do many things at the same time, then you shouldn't do medicine. I really don't want those online or those here to go away with that, because there are actually much more people practicing medicine, not doing anything else than those who are doing multiple things. Yes, the Yorubas will say on the water, but that's not the point. It's not necessarily about the money. I don't want anybody going away from here thinking that as a doctor of today, you must be dancing, skydiving, entrepreneur. No, please. There are actually more medical people strictly doing clinical medicine, radiology medicine, lab medicine, whatever it is. It doesn't mean that you are any less. I need you to all go away with that. In all that you do it diligently as you're doing it to the Lord. So you are perfect in where you are at. You are blooming where you are planted. You do not necessarily have to do 50,000 things, because this generation, truthfully speaking, is thinking a lot about many things, and then they have breadth, but no depth. I need everybody who is thinking of what we are saying. They are doing this. Clock it. Yes, thank you. I do not want you going away from this forum thinking I have to do 10 things. If you leave with nothing else, leave with the fact that whatever you are doing, do it well as to the Lord.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. On this note, please can we give them a more resounding round of applause? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to do something Dr. Gold does not know about this before you step down. We have books here, and we've shared our time, our knowledge, our talent with the young people. I want us to impart them with this book. So
So that's not a problem. That's not a problem. Oh. I'm speaking for everybody. Everybody, including you, George. 1, 2, 3. Okay, minus gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not a problem. But for every student who gets one book, you are buying one. Yes. You know why? Do you know why? You have to invest in yourself. And you have gained from this program. Chances are somebody else will gain from you as well. So you buy one because you're going to give it to somebody else. Do we agree?
Makes sense.
Do we agree? I think so. Do we agree?
Yeah.
If you want to buy more than one, that's fine. But everybody will get, every student will get. And please, it's not just to get the book. It's to read it. It's to imbibe it. Oh, why? Yes, if you just gift it, because giving is very easy. They won't get it. For everyone who gets one, you are buying one. Because you must, so it's a bug off. You buy one, you get one free. But we are the ones that are buying. So you are buying now, you are getting your own free. Thank you.
So that's agreed. Anyone who wants to get, we get an additional copy sponsored
for them.
by our panelists. Thank you so much. Please, we can now, I think we've taken pictures, so we can now step down from the stage. Or do we need to take pictures? Why do we need to take pictures? Let's just take a group picture. Dr. Abimbola, please join us on stage. Thank you. And then we'll have the vote of thanks. Last to come, we are so sorry we have delayed. We'll have the vote of thanks, and then we're done. Today possible. I want to say a very big thank you. Our last to come students, you guys are the best. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? You guys are absolutely amazing. Came in here 11 and you've been here, you've been involved, you've been active. Thank you so much. The AMSUlites present, medical students present, non-medical students present. Thank you so much. In a very special way, Alaja Fumilayo Gold. Dr. Gold's mom is around. Is she still here? Is she still? Please, can we clap for her? Alaja, no problem. Thank you so much. She was the one that made sure that food went round. And she's been very, very involved with that. So that food you're getting is with love. from Alaja Fumilayo Gold. We also have Honorable Mrs. Ariola Lawal. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. Mrs. Ariola Alegedinis to Mrs. Gold. Thank you so much for joining us.
Please, let's not get tired of putting our hands together.
Thank you so much.
To appreciate them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Everyone present, AY, thank you so much. Dr. Demola, thank you so much. Everyone that has made today possible, thank you so much. Dr. Gold, you give the vote of thanks and dance.
Thank you so much. First, I'd like to appreciate everyone for being here. My family.
Please, could we try not to reduce the movement so she can keep up?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I'd like to thank my family. The daddy of my boo is right here. First, I'd like to say thank you for taking the time. Daddy hardly goes out, but he came for this event for me. My husband, my amazing mom, all my mothers here, my panelists, the chairman, or I would say the chairpersons, because they were supposed to be, it's like Dr. Alimi and his wife were supposed to be the chairpersons of today. And then my amazing students, because without you, it's a different thing. I want to be a teacher, but if nobody is willing to learn from me, who's going to be reading my book? I may have something to say, but if nobody is reading it, who's going to learn? So I just hope whatever you have learned today is very useful for you. And that I hope you put it to good use. And I hope you continue to thrive in every aspect of your life. I'd like to thank the Department of Medicine, Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Every time I talk about my story, whether online, offline, Luth is a very big part of my story. And I would say that I was, doing great before. Luth refined me and gave me, that stage to take on everything in the world. And see, even while practicing outside of Nigeria, the excellence still shines through. So I thank the Department of Medicine. I thank Auntie Sheyi. Auntie Sheyi is, the kind of, when you call the indefatigable, the person that has always been there right from my residency days. She made sure this was well organized. I'd like to thank Ayomide Adeyemi Toluwanimi. He's been amazing. As my house officer that day, I will never forget it when I said, Ayo, Kiloman Sheno, do you do any other thing apart from medicine? And he said, I play the saxophone. And I'm like, what? Tell me more. And it's just because Ayo is not here with his saxophone today. My book launch, my original book launch, Ayo serenaded everyone with the saxophone so much. And I mean it, they didn't want to get up from their seats. That's how good he is. And so probably one day, that's my dream. Ayo's saxophone got broken. Maybe I'll be able to buy him another saxophone, maybe very soon. And then finally, you can know that the relationship I have with George Uchendu, I have a lot of children as medical students. I don't know why I keep acquiring boys, maybe because I have 2 boys myself. George, when nations call, they will honor you. God will continue to honor you. I don't think I could have done this program without George said, I said, George, we said we wanted to do this book tour. Should we do it? George said, mommy, we are doing it. I'm like, please, George, don't stress me. You are doing it. I'm not doing anything. You just tell me what to do. I know the money and we do it. But you think about it. I don't think I could have done this without George. And, I started with my family. I'm going to end with my family again because I will continue to reiterate that I'm nothing without God and the family that God has given me. And so I say thank you to Almighty Allah for making this possible for me. All my mothers, my fathers, thank you for the amazing social capital. And God bless you all as you go home.
Amen.
Thank you.
Man, don't go yet. DJ, play. Man, which song do you want? Because you are dancing your way out of the stage. Ore Tutun. Do you have DJ has that song. So you will dance. Please, last to come. If you can take a picture with Dr. Gold before you leave, that would be great. Dr. Gold, please. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been such an amazing event. It's been such an amazing event. Thank you to everyone that has made it possible. My name remains Dr. George. Oh, sure. My name remains Dr. George. It's Dr.